history isn't just what happened, it's who we are. And now you can explore Africa's incredible past like never before. Introducing the new and engaging course catalog from aelearning.net, a world-class provider of interactive e-learning focused on Africa's rich and diverse history. From the rise of ancient Nubia and the power of the Mali Empire, to the architectural wonders of Egypt and the development of astrological knowledge by the Dogon people, each self-paced course brings history to life through stunning visuals, immersive video lessons, and interactive assessments. Designed for students, educators, and lifelong learners around the world, AE Learning's courses make discovering Africa's story easier, deeper, and more engaging than ever. With AE Learning, education meets flexibility. Whether you're a student, teacher, or lifelong learner, our platform gives you access to credible knowledge, rich multimedia lessons, and tools that make learning African history engaging and unforgettable. Learning.net today. Start your journey through Africa's past today, because the story of Africa is the story of us all. AE Learning, inspiration through high-quality education.
Danfo offers unparalleled, curated, and bespoke tours across Africa for travelers seeking genuine cultural experiences, enriched with magnificent sights, sounds, and flavors found on the continent. Each trip is reliably curated to ensure visitors are gifted with an immersive and authentic adventure. Whether you find yourself strolling along the charming white sand beaches of Sierra Leone, feasting on the mouth-watering delicious foods in Senegal, observing or partaking in various aspects of the Isheshe traditional system Ifa native to Yoruba land, Nigeria, with Danfo, you will rediscover a fulfilling sense of kinship to the true heart of the motherland, her communities. Our core values focus on integrity, quality, safety, and sustainability. We are uniquely committed to assisting with the advancement of African infrastructure and promoting African businesses, so both travelers and the communities they visit receive beneficial exchanges. At Danfo, we understand the importance of connectivity, and we have created a model which provides bespoke experiences based on your passions or hobbies. With us, expect a long-lasting spiritual bond between you and your destinations. Live, love, Danfo, Africa. To learn more, visit danfo.africa.
Peace, family. We're alive again. Donnie Samir, search for Huru. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Hit that like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Big up, Don. Just discovered ancient city of Atlantis was in the Sahara. Okay, I guess Atlantis in the Sahara Desert. Yeah, okay. I thought Atlantis was underwater. Now I don't know. That's okay. I know Timbuktu is in the Sahara. Oh no. That's the Sahel. I'm sorry. But anyways, okay. Atlantis is in Sahara now. Okay. I guess so. Okay, all right, whatever. All right, guys, hit the like button again. Please hit that like button. Also, make sure you share and make sure you subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. Got a couple of announcements before we get started. We're rolling to Senegal, y'all. We are rolling to Senegal. And if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO.Africa. Again, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO.Africa to learn more. I will greatly appreciate it. We'll love to host you in Senegal. We're also going to Nigeria in August for the Oshun Festival, Zanzibar in September for Safari Blue. And then end of the year, we're going to do Sierra Leone, Ghana, and Ivory Coast. So if you're interested in joining, please visit Danfo, that's DANFO.Africa Africa to learn more. And guys, this is the site right here. This is the site, guys. Just go visit the site. Okay. Just go visit the site. Again, just go visit the site. We'll love. And make sure you fill out the form, the email form. Make sure you fill that out when you go. And guess what? I'm gonna call you. So the email pop up, fill that out, and guess what? I'm gonna actually call you. Not for my burner number either. There you go. The newsletter pop up. Subscribe to the newsletter form. Once again, fill that out. What's good? What's good, everyone? Peace. Starting to warm back up a little in Atlanta. It was freezing the last couple of days. You know, I would say March is when we get the most bipolar weather. Some days it's hot, some days it's cold, but you know, we make it through these next couple weeks. We are good to go because April will be here. So yeah, that's the good news. That's the good news. But today's topic, man, they trying to rob Senegal. I don't understand the rule. I don't play soccer because there's only one football, and that's American football here in Atlanta, in America. That's the football that counts. But I don't you know, I don't play soccer, so I don't know what's going on. I just know you just kick the ball in the goal. Like I look at soccer the same way some of y'all who look at, who are big soccer fans in Europe and Africa look at football, American football. Like I don't understand how that stuff works. So, but anyways, Senegal is one of my Senegal is one of my favorite countries. We'll be there in May for the Jazz Festival. I love Senegal. So I was rooting for Senegal. I'm rooting for Senegal and Nigeria and Sierra Leone. Those are my three teams. Those are my three countries. All right. So when Senegal won, I was like, hell yeah. Congrats to Senegal on the AFCON win. But now after a month and some change, they trying to strip the title away. And so let's find out why. Some BS rule, I don't know, but it's still crazy. The reason why they're trying to strip the title away.
Howdy, Roadrunner. You're very fast.
Well, I drink Red Bull.
But you do realize.
Yes, Red Bull gives you wings, but I'm scared of heights.
We're going to talk about the Africa Cup of Nations, or AFCON. We're heading to the Times. And it's quite remarkable, isn't it? You can just see it there on the top right-hand side. AFCON title is now Morocco's. I mean, it was a farcical enough game, wasn't it, Henry, with the what was it, 17, 18-minute stoppage before Brahim Diaz was about to take a penalty. When we came back after Senegal had taken their players off the pitch, well, he panenkered it into the arms of the goalkeeper, and then ultimately Senegal went and won the game. And now that's been reversed almost 2 months on. What's your take?
Well, how come it's taken 2 months to decide something like that, which should have taken them about 2 minutes? I mean, we don't even wait that long for VAR decisions. I mean, it's absolute madness, and it's damaging to African football, and it was damaged on the night, as a lot of people were saying. I feel for Sadio Mane, who I thought was one of the few Senegalese who actually came out with credibility intact, having sort of urged the players, his teammates, to come back onto the pitch. But I think the moment you walk off the pitch, I mean, the referee and the officials could very easily have made Senegal forfeit the game on the night and do it there and then. So I mean, the recriminations on this from Senegalese fans, from African neutrals, is going to be, we've only just heard the story tonight, and fair play to the Times for getting it in.
So from my understanding, Senegal's going to appeal. And even if they lose the appeal, like, don't send them trophies back. Do not send them trophies back, even if Senegal loses the appeal. Do not send them trophies back
quickly into their first edition, because it is, as Martin Ziegler writes in his piece, you know, it's one of the most extraordinary decisions in tournament history for, I mean, the hosts to be crowned the winners 2 months afterwards. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, what are they going to do with these players who've got their medals? Are they going to have to sort of give them back, drive around Morocco, handing these medals over? I mean, it's a crazy decision. If you're going to do something like this, you have to act more quickly.
What about you, David? I think, you know, as I mentioned, it was farcical. It was utter shambles what happened on that night with that stoppage and the way it was managed on the night. But you know, AFCON has got enough of a sort of tough task in trying to maintain a good reputation, and this has done huge damage, as Henry says.
There are not many stories that leave your jaw on the floor, and this was when it came through tonight. I mean, we were planning for the show, and it was one of those moments where you stop in your tracks. And I'm sure everybody watching this have been messaging friends and colleagues like, what on earth has just happened here? Because we were surprised enough by the scenes, unforgettable on that night. It was pretty extraordinary and unprecedented in a way. And you do cast your mind back now and feel it was completely unacceptable for Senegal en masse to walk off the pitch in protest a decision. I think it was just Sadio Mane who remained out there, and then obviously what followed after was crazy too. But the duration that's passed since, we've just seen nothing like this before. And I'm not sure we've heard the end of it now, because there could be an appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sports, which I think.
And guys, also too, like, I'm done flying Royal Air Morocco. Like, I was considering visiting. You know, I've been to Casablanca like 2 or 3 times. I'm over Casablanca. I'm over Morocco. I'm over that airport in Casablanca. I was thinking about visiting. What's the other? Not Rabat. What's the other city in popular city? Not Fez. Not Rabat. What's the other city in Morocco that's popular? Marrakesh. I was thinking about visiting Marrakesh. I'm over Marrakesh. I might still visit Marrakesh. I ain't gonna lie. You can fly direct to Marrakesh from Atlanta on Delta now, so I might go. I'm not sure. No, I'm over it. Yeah, I'm just over Morocco. You know, this last trip we did to Sierra Leone, we flew Royal Air Morocco, and the flight was delayed like 6 hours, 7 hours, something crazy. Which, you know, delays happen. You know, delays happen. Like right now, if you only knew what was going on at Hartsfield-Jackson Airport here in Atlanta with whatchamacallit, with Delta, because of the weather. You know, people are sleeping at the airport, and that's going on everywhere. So delays happen, but it's just the outside of the delay, what was going on at the airport, and, you know, our bags were lost, which all that stuff happens. But, you know, what was kind of cool about Royal Air Morocco is, depending how long your layover is, when you get to Casablanca, they'll give you a hotel. Again, they'll give you a hotel room for free, but they put us in the worst hotel. Not saying the hotels are 4 or 5, not even 3-star. Maybe we'll say, well, the hotel we stay at when we go to the actual city, the one that's not right by the airport, that hotel, I'll give it a 1-star. But hey, it's just, you lay your head down, you go out and you go view the city. This last hotel that they gave us was, I've actually stayed at this hotel before. My first trip to Casablanca, it's a negative 1-star, you know. And so the service was bad. They didn't give us our own rooms. It was just a lot. So yeah, I'm just over Royal Air Morocco. You know, I'm over Morocco. You know, this right here with the way they were acting during the game, the finals when Senegal played Morocco, what they kept doing is still in the towel. Still in the towels, and now the game they're playing now. Yeah, I'm over Morocco.
In the Confederation of African Football, CAF have been up against on.
But let me say this: I might visit what's the city again? Not Fez, not Rabat, Marrakesh. I might visit Marrakesh just because, but I'm not gonna go out of my way. Like if I'm already in Africa, like in Senegal, I might go to Marrakesh and then fly Delta back to Atlanta. You never know, but we'll see.
A number of issues over the years and often lose at CAS. So maybe this could be reversed back in the other direction. It doesn't paint the tournament in a good light, which had many amazing moments. And it's wrong of us to besmirch African football because there's so many fantastic elements and facets to it, and countries that have grown and are going to challenge at the World Cup next summer, like certain nations have challenged at World Cups gone past. But this is obviously a blight. Any people who think lesser of this tournament and have questions about African football, almost this sort of plays into it, as unfair as that is. And someone needs to get a grip to, there almost should be a statute of limitations on how long after the match you could do this sort of thing, because it's a couple of months now, and it's just completely bizarre and unacceptable. And there are players tonight, Brahim playing for Real Madrid, who had a great night at Manchester City, who suddenly becomes an AFCON winner despite what he went through that night. And Sarr at Chelsea, who personally had a terrible performance against PSG, has now lost his winner's medal from AFCON. You couldn't write it.
For experiences like no other, you need a card like no other, with exclusive access to unique.
Yes, Morocco might be Moorish, but that don't mean Moorish is black. Goodness, man.
2 months ago, Senegal were parading their Africa Cup of Nations trophy in front of nearly 1 million fans on the streets of Dakar, a trophy that they will now have to give back. In an unprecedented ruling, African football's governing body CAF has stripped Senegal of the title after their controversial walk-off during January's final. With the match in Rabat goalless, their opponents Morocco were given a penalty deep in stoppage time. That sparked a furious reaction from the Senegalese players, and their coach ushered his team off the field. Most players left the pitch and after a 17-minute delay returned. Morocco then missed the spot kick and went on to lose the final 1-0. Morocco's initial attempt to have the result overturned was dismissed, but now CAF's appeals board has decided that by walking off the pitch, Senegal forfeited the match, declaring it a 3-0 win for Morocco. Senegal's Football Federation has called it an unacceptable decision, which brings discredit to African football. While the Moroccan Football Association says it wasn't questioning the sporting performance of the teams, only ensuring competition rules were properly applied.
The ramifications for global football are huge. The African Cup of Nations is preeminent as a tournament. Other sporting federations, once this becomes the precedent, are going to use it as a yardstick to make decisions later. Despite my reservations about this decision taken by CAF, what I cannot fault CAF for is that Africa and the world of football needed a very strong message to be sent to Senegal and to anybody else in the future that you cannot at any point decide to walk away like Senegal did.
Senegal have confirmed they will appeal to the Court of Arbitration for Sport, which could take up to a year to issue a decision. In the meantime, both sides will instead turn their attention to the upcoming FIFA World Cup. Jamanash, Al Jazeera.
Wednesday morning, Jim White, Simon Jordan, Danny Murphy, live and talk.
Go ahead, Chrissy.
Hey, how you doing, Dinas?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. And Happy New Year. I don't think I've spoken
Happy
to
New
you
Year.
in a
Yeah,
long
it's been
time.
a minute. Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, I'm so pissed. I'm so angry to see that. And I remember seeing the way Morocco was behaving. They were acting like animals, like rabid dogs, blatantly stealing the towers of the referees, trying to get an altercation with the referees. Then the Moroccan fans were attacking Senegalese fans. And then I heard that there was like some Senegalese businesses in the area that were attacked. They were rabid animals. These are people who don't even consider themselves African. And then I don't remember, I don't know the names of all the people, but when the Senegalese player went to shake his hand after getting the award, this Moroccan dude just kind of looked at him and walked off. All of this arrogance, all of this. Look, we need to, any institution that has no respect for us, we don't need to be a part of it. Because the thing is that we give all these institutions life and color, and they want to treat us as subhuman and substandard treatment. We don't need to be a part of it. Go and be whatever you want to be. You say you're not African, fine. Go be Arab or whatever you want to be. Tunisia, go play Morocco and do your little thing that no one's going to watch. Because people come to watch African countries play. You don't want to be African, fine. But for us to be in something that has the name African and then be second class in it is absolutely unacceptable. I hope Senegal never plays again. And I really hope that other African countries just start to pull out and let them do their own little Arab thing. Make the A in AFCON be for ArabCon. Do your little ArabCon. Whoever watches, and then we start to create institutions for ourselves that are fair and equitable. This other stuff is unacceptable. If it was Senegal who behaved the way Morocco behaved, they would have went racial with it. You would hear, oh, the monkeys are loose. They would have went all over and all out with it, and it would have been a reason and a justification for Senegal to not get the award. It was clear they were favoring Morocco. It's so disgusting. We don't have to tolerate this mess. We don't have to tolerate this nonsense and tolerate being parts of institutions that treat us like, we really don't have to tolerate it. And we really, really need to and should just walk away.
Well, it was interesting. The president of the Confederation of African Football, which organizes the AFCON tournament, is Patrice Motsepe. You know who that is?
Yeah, I know who he is. And one token in the group does not take away the fact that Senegal was mistreated.
No, it definitely was. But I'm just surprised that Patrice is, letting this slide.
Yeah, we always have tokens, but tokens get spent as usual. His turn will come, but we don't need to be a part. We really don't, because as I said, we give these things life and color. They don't give us anything. We give them. We give you life. We give you color. We give you the name, the reputation. And then for the dude to smear it as African football is really offensive, because it wasn't African football. It was Morocco, who don't identify as Africans, smearing the game. That was them doing it because they feel the privilege, because there's no racial trope attached to their behavior. Anything we do, there are racial tropes attached to our behavior when we do it. So I don't really, on top of it, appreciate it being smeared as African football. No, it wasn't African football. It was Moroccans acting like animals.
Go ahead, Talker.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
When did they come up with this? How you doing, everybody?
Good.
When did they come up with the decision?
It was yesterday.
Unbelievable. Do you know Morocco was banned at one time from the cup because they said they wanted to be part of the European Union? You remember?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they were actually banned at one time. Morocco was banned at one time, right? And it's because they didn't want to be with Africa anymore. They wanted to join the European Union at one time, but of course, Europe denied them. Right? I can't believe they waited this long.
Yeah,
this long to make a decision, and ultimately, the other teams, I don't see them protesting. I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but I don't see them protesting the decision. Some of the people that made decisions are Black, right? So I don't see how they're going to handle this, right? If people is going to step in, how is this? Did the people approve it, or is up to the African Union?
Well, they've already approved. They already approved the forfeit or whatever. But
Uh-huh.
Senegal's going to appeal it, so we'll see what happens after the appeal.
Uh-huh. This is ridiculous, bro. I can't believe this was even allowed to happen. And I don't think Senegal should give back the trophies. I don't think they should give it back. I think they should hold on to it as a protest. So I don't know what the hell is gonna happen, bro. I am so pissed.
Yeah, that sucks. Go ahead, CD.
Hey, Don and sis, guys.
Peace.
I'm not surprised that this happened to Senegal, right? So when they were presenting the cup to Senegal, the FIFA president was there. The FIFA president he's Italian, and the CAF president he's from South Africa. So when they were presenting the cup to Senegal, they engaged the FIFA president for him to be one of the presenters, and he refused to go on the stage. So I knew something was not right. But again, this is Black South African that is heading CAF. So that's why when people have all these struggle for South Africa, sometimes you think twice why we have all this fight for them doing this apartheid system. Uh, this is disappointing. And then again, when you look at it the other way around, it's good for Senegal to teach them lesson, because Senegalese, they always put religion before Pan-African. I remember.
He said Senegalese.
Was that yes?
I would say Senegal is probably, and I've said this before, out of all the Black Islamic countries, Senegal is probably the most, I would say, even Pan-African one. Well, now we have the AES, but even before the AES, the Pan-African / developed ones in the world.
Well, the reason I'm saying that is when you run the Palestine war, right? Palestinian against the Israelis, Senegal was the only country that came and demonstrated, because they said the Palestinians are being killed, they are Muslims, And when you look at Palestine, they have both Christians and Muslim over there. So seeing Black Sudanese being killed by white Arabs, they did not demonstrate. See all the Congolese that are dying, I didn't see Senegalese coming up and demonstrate. So they all will try to identify themselves more with the religion being more Pan-African. That's my point. You know what I mean? So what it did is completely wrong. But again, this will teach Senegalese lesson. Even Macky Sall, all the money that he stole from Senegal, where did he invest the money? In Morocco, right? He lived in Morocco, right? So, and there was some Senegalese that lost their life even during the final, and they jailed some of them. Even up to this time, they stay in jail. So they have to go on hunger strike for them to free them. But I'm not sure they have released them or not. You see? So, and when you go to West Africa and you see the Moroccans, specifically Abidjan, the amount of Moroccans in Abidjan is unbelievable. Because I was there in 2024 African Cup of Nations, the one that they play in Abidjan, in Côte d'Ivoire. So they have so much freedom in Africa. Even when they eliminated them, nobody was abusing them. Nobody had anything to say about them. But this will help the African football. I'm telling you, this is going to be a big problem, because Jumai Fall, he even gave lands to all the players. He gave a lot of money to them. Even they found some of the Senegalese players. They are cool. They find millions of CFA. He couldn't even pay the money. He has to go on fundraising to pay the money to FIFA because they banned him, right? So, and because the reason why they did this, they're trying to give Morocco World Cup. The next World Cup from here, they're trying to give them a World Cup, including some European country. So they're doing all of these to just satisfy Morocco. FIFA is involved in this because the women of African football, they're supposed to play in Senegal, in Morocco. They turned it down because they were not happy because they couldn't win the final. Instead of them finding Morocco for that, because the couple was about to play, they were planning to play within a couple of months after the Men African Cup of Nations, but they turned it down. They said that they're not going to host the game anymore. So they have to cancel the whole championship. So they're doing all of these to just satisfy Morocco. Even when they went all the way in the World Cup that they play in, what was the last place they played the World Cup? In Qatar. When they played the World Cup, I think Morocco went all the way to quarterfinal. And when they were asking some of their players, they said they did this because of the Islamic country, the Middle East. This their win is the support of the Middle East. They did not even mention Africa. So these are the people that we're dealing with, right? But you will see West African. I'm a Muslim, but I know this will be a lesson for a lot of West African Muslims to know who these people we are dealing with, right? And there's going to be a big stigma on African football. Can you imagine African football set a big record? It was 180 countries that watched the African Cup of Nations. It never happened before. Never. This is the damage. Even now, African football is even beating South American football when it comes down to their championship. But for them to take this cup away from Senegal and give it to Morocco, this is unbelievable. But I'll remain there for now. This is sad.
I think Dennis might have stepped away. Hey, see, let me ask you something. Do you remember when Morocco was banned?
Yeah, they were banned because they wanted to be European.
Right, it
So
wouldn't be
when
European.
that happened during Ali Aziz Modali Bala time, they wanted to be European. They wanted to be part of the European Championship. But they are the one doing all this criminality in Europe. When you go, there's a lot of Moroccan in Belgium, France. They are the street boys over there. So they thought they were already Europeans, so they wanted to be part of EU. And the Europeans turned them down. They say, "What? You guys cannot be European." And then they came back to African Cup of Nation. So yeah, they've been making an attempt to be part of EU. You know, they have turned them
Yeah,
down several times. You know.
yeah. Did you did Ola was it Ola before me? Did you spoke Ola or who was next for me?
Whoever
Was it
goes first.
Ola?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Al. Speak.
Sorry. Did Ola have you spoken already? Because I don't want to jump the queue.
No. After you, I speak.
No, speak, Ola. You want me to go first?
Okay. Thank you. You see, this Morocco is the same country want to come to ECOWAS, right? Until Liberia rejected them. They wanted to come into ECOWAS and become members of ECOWAS.
Yes. Yep.
And during that process, Israel also want to join ECOWAS also. They did not reject Israel also. One thing I see with black people, we don't stand for nothing, and nobody take us seriously. Our yes is never yes. Our no is never no. If a black man said no, it's yes. If you say yes, it's no. In everything, in terms of even relationship with foreigners. Come Morocco, if they marry to a woman, you take their child away from them, they will delete you. But African men, we marry some of these foreign women, these children can be taken away from them, they do nothing. We can be prized. All these AFCON people, They were all bought right from the beginning. Billions were spent. The referees, the Negro ones, were all bought. You can see the game against Cameroon. Even Nigeria one was also very funny. Osimhen could not even be able to kick a goal. Look, man, it's like all their leg was stand still. Nothing. What's going on? At least the guy was able to have some dignity. How can you play a match when the pen's not even done yet? That was Senegal. Or they scored, they cancel it. Because the Negro referee that was there, all these so-called Africans fucking referees are there. They were all corrupt. And that's where they see black people. You want to build Marshall? You can take this $1 million. You know? We have no dignity at all. That's why they can easily use us in everything. Pump into our territory, they use us anyhow. We just say, thank you, we're friendly, we're partners. They don't never really a partner. These people are very calculated. Morocco are white people, mixture with other type of things. You know, all those people call it are more, whatever they call it, Moors or whatever they call themselves. You will Negro to these people. They will slave you. You know, they will deal with you.
They're not white people. They want to be white, but white people will not accept them. That's their problem.
They're mixture with white. They're mixture with white on all that.
Yeah, but real white people don't accept them.
Ola, now cutting you off. The referee against Nigeria was Ghanaian. That was a Ghanaian referee. Could you imagine?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That was a Ghanaian referee. And they were harassing Nigeria goalkeeper, kicking his towel. This referee couldn't even punish Moroccan.
Yeah, someone was Kidola was echoing. That's why I had to mute him. Go ahead, Kidola.
Okay, what I see here, we don't have no anything at all. We don't stand for anything at all. Just generally in everything. I hope that the guy will not give this cup up. If they want to ban them, ban them. These I say people sabotaging us in African Union. They are spies to the white people. They are spies. Anything that come up with that. That was Africa. These black ones who form their own union. We know where we belong to. If the soup is bitter, we know. If the soup is sweet, we know. Thank you very much, man.
Go ahead, Africa.
Yeah, greetings, brother CD, brother Dynas, hola, everyone, you know, on the panel and the chat. I hope you had a good day. And yeah, I am really disappointed. When I saw this, I actually thought it's some kind of joke, but it's so sad, man. Yeah, I mean, you know, the people who we actually gave ancestral home after the retreats. Well, Alfonso the Great chased the same people out of Spain. You know, we gave them home. These are the people that turned around and treating us like this today. So sad. These people that you see called Moroccans, these were white slaves who were mixed with Arabs, mixed with Africans. They came in that land, you know, mistreat the people, push the Tuaregs down to the bottom to where you find where Marrakesh is today. And, you know, and obviously that was the end of the story. And the reality is, African people, we got ourselves again to blame for this. If you look at the head of the CAF, he's a black brother. Where was he when the decision was made? He's a South African guy. As Ola was saying earlier, the referee was a black brother. I don't know if he's from Congo or Ghana, one of them. Okay,
from Ghana.
And then
Ghanaian.
you look, Ghana. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. So you can see how, you know, we actually causing our own problems. This is our own problems here. You know, people that are not even Africans by descendant are actually dictating on us and actually undermining our own, you know, success. This is just one of them. Football. This is just a good example of how these people have always done, you know, their best to undermine the African race. I said this before. I can go back to a little bit of history, the Almoravid conquest in Spain. You know, it's the same thing that they done to us. They said, "Oh, you cannot rule us. You're dark skinned. You're not related to the prophets. Even though you captured this place, you did well, but you need to pass the baton over to us. Let us rule you. And guess what? We pass the baton to them stupidly enough. And guess that's when racism actually, documented to the degree how black people were treated in Spain based on that one decision they made. And it's about to repeat because now this CAF, basically the decision that they made is they could actually translate this into different things. Why? To be honest, I think the entire African nation, all the black African countries should boycott CAF. They shouldn't play into the African Nations Cup. They shouldn't participate in it. They shouldn't actually play with any of these North African teams until they clean their act. Because it's enough and it's enough. If you look at the map of Africa, how these people, the Europeans have worked with these people so hard to kept us away from Europe. And they're trying to do the same thing in the East to keep us away from the Middle East. It's a plan. It's to keep the black race away from their territory. Like right now, look at Israel is desperate to have Somaliland. Somalia has been destroyed. Okay, and then in the West, you have the Polisario where Morocco and Algeria is fighting over that land. All these areas is quite strategic. Someone needs to mute. Is that Ola? Is that you? Hello.
I don't know what Tamaine was doing. You got this dog crying or something. I don't know. Just weird.
Yeah. So it's quite strategic to keep the black race down, and we have down in South Africa, as we were speaking the other day, the same thing. And we're still fighting over each other. Tribal issue and minor fighting over foreign religion and stuff like that. I mean, it's sad. I think Senegal should hold on to that cup and their medals. They shouldn't give it back. If you have to be war, let it be war. We shouldn't succeed to these people. It's enough. It's enough. Enough is actually enough now. We cannot do it anymore. They have to, take us to court. There's no appeal. Senegal should just hold on to that cup. If they actually really that desperate, let them come and take it. The entire Black Africa should stay away from it. We form our own federation. And I believe what someone said. Yes, I believe FIFA is behind this. But the thing is, who is head of CAF? It's a black man. It's not a white person. It's not a foreigner. He's our own African brother. It's a South African brother who's running CAF. Where was he when this decision was made? How did he accept it? Look at how they treat our brothers and sisters in Morocco. This is what they've been going through for years in that place. And I saw what happened in Morocco, and after that same problem, the Tuaregs were online insulting the light-skinned Moroccan and saying, "You're disgusting animals. How you treated us. Now you're treating the black brothers the same way." And it's about time, you need to learn some lesson. And I saw videos of them because I didn't know this is how they treat the other Tuaregs, and they feel marginalized in their own country by the light-skinned Moroccans who were enslaved.
Hold on 1 second.
These people were enslaved.
At Tavain, stop trolling on the phone. Are you serious? Are you trying to call in and add to the conversation? Or are you trolling?
No, I'm not trolling. I'm talking.
What?
No, I'm not trolling. I see you want to talk. I'm from Jamaica.
Are you speaking Wolof?
No. I don't see what.
Mr. Wagwan. I want to see what y'all talking about.
Yeah, we're there. Try to mute because I mash up the thing, man. But yeah, so
basically, good.
Okay, all right. Hold on. Yeah, so basically, we need to actually, look at our own problem inside. We need to have our own federation, man. Let's stay away from this. This is embarrassing, man. There's no way to continue like this.
It's be 2 years because what? Why didn't you Senegal for the trophy? When they did for? But Senegal do the trophy.
Them have it in Senegal. Them have it there.
No, if they don't give the trophy, they're going to ban them from World Cup. They were qualified for the World Cup. So, well, I mean, I would. If I was Senegal, I don't think they should do anything. They should come and prove it in World Cup because right now I think they have the best African team. Even when they play against France, they beat France. When they play against Brazil, friendly match, they beat Brazil. So leaving that Senegalese team is one of the best teams right now, probably in the world. You know, they have a very good team.
They do breed men's. They do breed men's in Senegal. Let's be honest. Senegal is a melting pot of the strong breed of West Africa. They're very competitive people. I understand that, CD. But the reality is, you know, how long can we actually submit to them and say, okay, yeah, have it? No, I think they shouldn't have it handle
I think
that
sorry
way.
to interrupt. I think that's sell out. I think that's sell out for money. You know African sell out. You know African do sell out for money. Behind the scene, they pay them for
Some of
good
them
amount
sell
of
out.
money.
Some of them. Yeah, some of them sell out, but you know. So yeah, basically, what I'm trying to say is, it's about time. You know, we stand up to what we believe in, and the entire African continent, the entire Black Africa, say, look, we're not participating in CAF anymore until this problem is solved. If we don't do
No, not
that as
even
a unit,
until the
the
problem
block.
solved. We just start our own thing. We'll call it Sub-Saharan Africa Con, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Well, you gotta understand. It been for
Yes.
years, none of the North African countries have won the African Cup of Nations. Morocco, maybe 50 years, they haven't won African Cup
Well,
of
they
Nations.
haven't won, and that's why they came cheating. They don't deserve to win. They are
Right.
cheaters.
So let it give them the cheating cup. Senegal have won it 2 times, maybe 2 or 3 times, and they have the best team right now. I don't want them to mess up the World Cup. World Cup is more important to us right now. They have a very good team, you know. So
I don't believe in that submission. Once you start submission and making accommodation, you're never gonna be respected. If they don't want to kick us out of World Cup, if we work as a
like
people, then none of we do World Cup. Then fine. As I said, none of these institutions are anything without us. But they gaslight us into thinking that we need them. We don't need you. You need us. That's why Europe goes to Africa for their players. We don't need them, but we are convinced we need them.
That's what Ola was saying right now. You know, Liberia was the one that banned them from joining ECOWAS. That's the fact. And you know they have the king over there, right? So they were more Pan-African back in the days when they were fighting to join ECOWAS and in Togo. I think Togo was the one that banned them. You know, and they were identifying themselves with Africa at that times. But right now, I think if I was Senegal, they should give the cup away, and then they should play the World Cup. And then I'm telling you, Senegal will prove something in the World Cup. They have a they have a young team, and the team is good.
Absolutely not.
No, fucking no. I would not compare and trade it. You know what the final and say? They cheat the player look hard. Look at 7-5 get to Nigeria with the keeper. And Nigeria? And then I'll get final against Senegal. They cheat. And by the way, the Arab, Morocco, Algeria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt. They didn't even come out of Africa. I'll say them in a minute.
Yes, then exactly. And since they want how they shall have it, you're either in the African Union or you're in the Arab Union, but you can't be in the both of them.
African go there.
No, I agree.
African go there, no.
I agree. You know, I agree.
African interest and Arab interest is not the same thing. You can't be in both.
Kill them off.
Yes,
pick
not the
one.
same.
You're either
We're not the same
Arab
people. We're not the
Union
same people.
exactly,
Yes.
and we don't have the same interests. You're either African Union or you're Arab Union, but you cannot have dual allegiances. That need to cut out.
Probably with these people in the north, right? The African, when the Arab people reject them, then when the Arab people embrace them, they want to be African and they want to be Arab, you know. So they always like Somalis. You get me? Somalis completely the same way. Yeah, man. Let me understand that, man. Let me understand that, but the thing is. Yeah, no, it's very disrespectful, man, and that's what they're doing. They're doing it deliberately to try to piss us off. If they was going to do this, they should have done it straight away.
That's what we need to be doing. Pulling out of all of their stuff.
But see, that's what I said. This is good for Senegal. This is good for them because they always try to identify themselves with the Arabs. You know, when these the black Sudanese were killed by the Arab people.
Big bro. I would say one thing. I think Senegal, even though they are, you know, Senegalese people are very compassionate people, right? they feel sorry for other people in general. You know, that's how they come across because
That's
in
how the
fact, they're the
problem.
only group.
That's how the
Yes,
problem. That's
that's why they
problem,
like
brother.
that.
They're not
That's why they
no
like
black
that. It's
people
not
problem,
because
brother.
yes, but when it comes
That's
to
how the problem.
Pan-Africanism,
That's problem.
out of all
They're not
yes,
start
one
with
second,
brother.
Yadman. My brother, one second, yeah, one second, brother. When it comes to Pan-Africanism, Senegalese are the most French Pan-African country. I know how they behave because you know they're actually very collective people when it comes to blackness. You know they're very proud people. When even the Islam that they practice in Senegal is very close to blackness. It kind of reminds me of the Islam that we had in Mali before the war.
No, I understand. I understand. When you go to Senegal, if you see them with the drag, the way they do their Islamic culture is different. If you, I'm in Harlem, so when they are checked, then come the way they do their own. Even they do go to do their own Hajj in Senegal. They don't even go to Saudi Arabia most of the time.
They go to Touba, right? They go to Touba.
Yeah, Touba, right. Right, that's where they go.
Exactly.
I know them very
They're the
well.
most African Muslim
and I
you
admire
can
them
find
for
in the
that.
world. Yes.
You know.
Yes, they're very compassionate towards other people.
Yep.
And that's what is making them be taken for granted. But as you said, you know, it's about time they learn the lesson not to be so compassionate to other people, you know, because the world is not all that nice. You know, that's the reality. Remember the French, they fought for the French in the Second World War. I saw different documentary. We thought the Senegalese soldiers, the French, wouldn't be able to fight against Hitler. You know, and they are strong people. Yes, they are strong people, man. Senegalese people are big, strong people. They mix with Fula Mandinka, all the tribe in West Africa. They mix together, and that make them strong. You know, and they're very mentally strong people. Yeah, very strong people, man, mentally and physically. You know, they can deal with anything. But right now, I feel sorry for them, man. You know, seriously, it pisses me off, bro. You know, it's about time we actually wake up finally. And
page to AFCON, brother, because AFCON is corrupt. Because one, see how we come on.
The head of AFCON is the South African brother running it right now. And why is AFCON head office doing in Egypt? Why is the head office doing in Egypt? The head office of AFCON is in Egypt. Why?
In Egypt. People who don't consider themselves African, Egypt of all places. Please.
For Egypt,
let them do their own thing.
Yeah,
and they know that they turned down the Women African Cup of Nation. Morocco turned it down because they lost the final, and they didn't fund them for that. Yeah, they did. They're supposed to play the Women African Cup of Nation in Morocco. So immediately after the men, they're supposed to play in Morocco. So they turned it down because they were not happy they lost the final. Right, and this South African brother get in mind to take it to South Africa. The South Africans say, no, we don't want it. You'll take it back to Morocco. Why they turning down the league? You'll find them.
Africa is a second black continent. Africa and Europe. Because Africa can't manage the problem they want to say. They need a second black continent. They need a second black continent. Africa can't manage their one.
You know, at the moment, yeah, at the moment, it's looking bleak. It's looking bleak, man. Yeah, it's looking bleak.
Fuck with that sports Senegal. I can't trip up some work of people yourself. Man, must fuck dog and suck them woman.
Yeah, but the thing is, I believe something is going to happen because you know the other African countries, you know, they're not going to. I don't think a lot of West African countries will actually stood by, like Nigeria, Ghana, you know. And
this happened. You know when this happened. When they already run their decision to find some of the players, they found some of the Senegalese players, they found the coach, and they found some South African players, right? They came out with the last decision. And now they went back in and reviewed it and come out with this new decision. Why would you guys find, and they found the Senegalese coach millions and millions of CFA for him to pay. So he got to do fundraising for that. Some of the players, they find some of the players because, you know, they said they walk out of the fee. And they come up with the last decision. And why they going back again and review that decision and revise the whole thing around? Why? It doesn't make no sense.
It wasn't it didn't cause a penalty what Moroccan players were doing, stealing the referee, harassing the referee, opponent. That was okay.
Exactly.
There's no penalty for that. That's what I'm saying. Come out of this thing. We have to create our. Come on, we're too late in the game. We're too late in the game. Anything that disrespects us, we need to pull out. We need to be having our own institutions anyway, and not just because it's the word African on it. That don't mean it belongs to us.
No, even the word Africa is not really our name anyway. You know, we were a different kingdom before we got called all these names. Yeah. So the reality is, and one of my Moroccan friends I knew, he used to say Africa is the real African. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, well, Africa was named by and he started breaking it down to me.
They said,
I said, I know, but the reality.
Scipio Africanus, he named himself after. There was a tribe in North Africa called the Afri tribe.
Yeah,
the Afri tribe.
Yeah,
that's who it's named after. Not after Scipio Africanus.
Yes, and that's why I said to him, well, genetically, you're not part of the continent. You came there and invaded the people.
And they've been giving us hell ever since. And we've never done anything to these people. They've been giving us hell since 7th century.
My people gave them land in that place called Casablanca.
You see, when we retreated, when too soft, when too lovely, no problem. I say, oh, come, you're my brother, you want me to chop. That's a problem, brother. Chop, take up people problem, brother. Go back America and realize they are in own America. All the good don't like Black American. Hispanic don't like a Black American. Asian don't like Black American. The folks don't like Black American. Black Americans they realize they're in their own America. So Africa is a black people in Africa, they on their own body, but they food too. Run arrow out of Morocco. One arrow out of Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Libya, and Egypt. Run them out, put on a new country. Now that Israel still about run them out, then you to us. Because you sell you in any idea, any idea. They give one chance, they might give one triple foot. One Africa, they might do it. And they give out and they don't give a connect a shit. But on the one I say.
Exactly.
So an idea, Black African world continent, but an idea. They don't give a fucking shit about you know. If we go to public, look go to public Libya. After got assassinated. I saw assassinated too. No Black Africa can cross the border to Europe. No grandma, they are human trafficking, rape, all kind of shit, all kind of crap right now.
Slavery, all kind of stuff.
I know one reporting. They make it die better.
Yeah, that's why I said.
That's why I said. That's why I said. Individually, yes, that's true. But an idea, no way.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, when the AES done with Mali, they should get Mauritania. We should start taking Mauritania back. CD, what do you think about that? Because Mauritania needs to come back to the.
Yeah, Mauritania.
I mean, all this land, all this, especially Morocco, it was a black nation.
Money.
Yes, it was. Yes.
Yeah, it's seen to Mauritania. It was a black nation.
Yeah, the people he find in Guinea today. Yeah, the people he find in Guinea, in Senegal, in Guinea-Bissau, these tribes that you see there, they're the one that used to own Morocco and Mauritania. It's their land.
They push them out.
It's their land. They got pushed down. Yeah, and the Akan people used to they used to be the one that at the bottom of Algeria.
Yeah.
At the bottom of Algeria, that's why the Akan people them used to. We know our territory, our ancient territory, it's there. But the thing is, these people have been encroaching on our territory. That's why I like what Assimi Goita is doing by kicking the ass in the north of Mali, because the reality is the Aswad they came up there, intermarriage first. The Aswad did not come there to fight first of all, The Aswad intermarriage with the people. The intermarriage with my people, them. And the Bambara, intermarriage and lighting up the people. Yes, and they light up the people's skin color, and then later on they're like, okay, now is our territory. Yeah, they lighting up the skin color by marrying our women.
Intermixing, even in Sudan, is a problem. That intimidates too much confusion.
I'm saying Sudan, I think Sudan better. But run Africa better. A problem people better. Run more Africa better. I'm
At this point,
the man
them can't live good,
blood
them
out to
must
like
go.
Israel.
Agree.
This is sad, man. I'm so emotional right now. I don't even know what to think because this is like, like player like Mane. Look at what Mane is. Mane put the work in so hard. Sergio. Sergio put the work so hard. He put in the work in. Humble guy, does everything he could for his country, and this is how they pay him back. This is
And
crazy.
because there's all this mixing, then the Europeans can play to these divisions. Because even with this whole thing and going on in the Sahel, where they say all this terrorism, this and that, whichever. When you look at a lot of the people doing the terrorism, they look mixed. They're clearly mixed. So the Black African
behind it.
population. Yeah, they don't see Black population as their own. So any European can come and pay them off to slaughter the Black population because they don't see them as their own people.
It's our own fault for actually
All that
doing
mixing,
the job for them.
it don't help. Look at what happened in Sudan right now. They're killing off the indigenous Black African people. Look what they did to the Sudanese museum with all those artifacts from 6,000 years ago. They broke up the museum. They set it up. I'm sure all those things are in Dubai. All those artifacts, priceless artifacts, will never get back. And then they'll give them a few years. They'll do like Egypt and turn around and say, well, no, the Nubians were Arabs. The Nubians were Arabs. Stop trying to appropriate our culture. Give a few years.
Our supremacy, those like our supremacy don't is no different than white supremacy.
Okay.
Again, our supremacy is no different than white supremacy. Both of them are forces.
I gotta pass the mic to Moralist. Go ahead, Moralist.
Greetings. Generally disappointed in the decision. I'll say that much. But in my opinion, I think Senegal should just not give the cup. But there was one thing that somebody said that Senegal didn't speak about Sudan. I don't think that's true. They definitely spoke about it in the African.
No, I said they did not demonstrate. There was a demonstration in Dakar. That's what I said. You gotta listen to my word. I didn't see they did not speak, but they demonstrated in favor of Palestinians because they said they were killing the Muslims over there. But why the Arabs were killing the Black Sudanese, they did not demonstrate because the Black Sudanese are Christians and the white Arab in Sudan are Muslims. So why they did not speak out? That's why.
And guess what? They're not even white.
That
a lot of them are mixed.
They try to more identify themselves with the religion than being Pan-African. That's what I said.
The Sudanese doing the slaughter is not white, They look. We would consider them Black people.
Arab.
They're mixed. They have maybe a little curl, maybe a little straighter nose, maybe a slightly lighter complexion, and they consider themselves Arab because I don't know what is in the Arab world. If your father is Arab, then you're Arab, and then they hate the Black. Them hate Black.
Sadly.
Okay.
But they should leave and go to Saudi Arabia, go be Arab elsewhere, and get off the continent.
So they were mixing.
Okay. Anyways, so you said they did not demonstrate. Okay, I might have misheard you. So because I distinctly remember Senegal did speak out against it. But demonstration, I can't prove that they didn't demonstrate because I don't know. But at the same time, I'll also say this. A lot of African countries can be accused that they did not demonstrate about Sudan as well. And I will say this specifically because a lot of information about Sudan is also like the coverage compared to Gaza is not even the same when it comes to Sudan. International media, most people don't talk about Sudan. And especially right now, when you look at, like, for example, the UAE, which is funding this genocide, this is why I'm kind of happy that I'm kind of happy.
Yes, Iran bombing that.
I hope they bomb everything. I hope they bomb everything, honestly. Like,
finish UAE.
Because even if before Iran goes, if they can just do an entire demolition of the UAE and their freaking slavery system over there, it'll be a good thing. And the other thing is that I think there's two things that people are talking about. One, Africans are, I guess, too kind. I will use the word too kind.
Kind
And
to non-Africans, not to each other.
well, I would disagree. They can be kind to each other too. It just depends.
Exactly.
Because it's like we're trying to act like we don't have solidarity with each other. It's just that solidarity is not being shown or equally on the media scale. Because after these things are not being shown on the media, that's the problem. Is that we don't control our media. We have media of our own, but our media isn't global. It's regional. There's Kenyan media, there's Tanzanian media, there's Nigerian media. They're not African media. That's why when I look at African Stream, the fact that it was taken down, that rather was connecting the entire media of all of Africa, trying to.
Yep, and that was on
that's
purpose. That's what they do. Pan-African.
so-
There's a concerted effort to
So
undermine
this is why
Pan-African media.
when I hear people say like, "Hey, Pan-Africanism is dead," honestly, it doesn't seem dead there, but they're definitely trying to kill it. The reason they're trying to kill it is because if you can unite let's not say 54 countries. Let's just say we can unite most Black African countries on a single issue. Everything else will stop changing. Because let's talk about those Arab nations. Most of them don't have the resources that really matter to the world.
Nope.
Other than Morocco, most of them don't really have the resources. They may have that oil, but they don't have things like cobalt, copper, things like that. And they need those kind of things with African nations. But I will also say this, because of our inaction or kindness, or whatever you want to call it, we keep saying like this is what we need to do, but are we willing to? Let's just be honest. Are we willing to go and straight up kill and die for it? Are we willing to, ignore these organizations? Like talk about, for example, building an atomic bomb. You think there's no nuclear physicists available? Of course they are, but where we signed, most African nations have signed the ICJ contract. So that means they can basically come in there and inspect your nuclear. If you have your nuclear capabilities, if you do any kind of enrichment of uranium, a lot of African nations are still part of that. So how many are willing to actually, straight up being militaristic? I don't think a lot of African nations are willing to be militaristic, especially the current leadership. So, I mean, it's all fair to talk about these kind of things, like this is what we need to do, but how many of us are actually willing to go into politics? This is the thing about what I realize in these people. The people speaking here are not the people in charge. The people speaking here are not the people willing to go into politics. And I can understand why politics is a dirty game, but it's like if you're not willing to go and play dirty, because let's not act like these people are playing fair. Like look at history. Look at all of history. How many world wars were started by Black people? None. Okay? All the nations in the world, not one single nation, Black nation specifically, has a nuclear bomb. Okay? Not one single nation initiated world wars. And the biggest genocide, not that we didn't commit genocides to each other, we did, but the biggest genocides in the world have always happened from outsiders and the Europeans and the Arabs. Okay? So if we are not willing to, I'm not even saying moralize, it's just that if you let your morality get in the way of it, and that does not say your morality shouldn't matter, but at the same time, it's like if you let that morality be your deciding factor, then they're gonna easily exploit you. And this is why I say if you really want change, then you have to be willing to honestly play the game as evil as they will. But a lot of Black people are not willing to do that, unless I could be proven wrong. But I don't think they're willing. So that's why I landed from there.
Yeah, I mean, even this guy Makissa lives in Morocco. All the money that he stole, the ex-president of Senegal, he lives in Morocco. That's where he invested all the money.
That's true.
So that's how the some of the Black African worship the Arab. All the money that he stole from Senegal,
and Dubai,
invested some in
most of them have money in Morocco and Dubai. It's true.
A little bit of Ivory Coast and Dubai and Morocco. And
But
now
what
he
happened
lives
to
there.
him? But what happened to him?
Well,
Did he get any punishment? Was he sent to jail?
No,
Death
no,
penalty?
no,
I'm
no,
asking,
no.
what happened then? What happened?
he ran away.
He ran away. He left the country.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what did Senegal do, or let's just keep it a second. What did Senegal do to prevent that happening again?
Well, he's not the
Nothing.
first politician in Senegal that have been doing that. So this is a lesson for them to learn. And there was a Senegalese guy that lost his life. They beat him in Morocco when he died. Just because of his
listen, you're speaking to the topic. You're saying this person stole money from Senegal and used it in Morocco, right?
He lived there. He lived
there. Yes, I understand. What you're saying? Nothing happened to him. He escaped. What did Senegal do after that happening? What did they do
Well,
to
the
make sure that doesn't
investigation
happen
still
again?
going on. I mean,
So
Yeah, they seem to. I mean, they seem to want to get some of the money back from his
they have
son and stuff like
arrested.
that.
Yeah, they have arrested some of his members,
some of his
top
co-guys.
leaders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So
yeah.
the
So
crisis still going on. Those two guys trying to go after them, but it will
right.
take time. You know.
Yeah, it will. And also,
I mean,
those two guys, see, this since they've been in power, all the promises that they made, they haven't kept on to the promises. And I also, I am hearing Senegalese people are saying, even though Macky Sall stole money, he actually done more work in the country by development. Brought so many things that the country never had compared to these two guys that came in on all this populist platform, but they haven't done anything, jack shit.
well,
But
because
yeah,
what they did
yeah.
was, they came without populism, saying we're not going to work with anybody in Senegal, going to stand on their feet. And then they
Okay.
started taxing individual Senegalese. So they think every
Yeah.
development that they're going to do in Senegal, they're going to tax the citizen, right? But when this guy was there, or the previous guy before Macky Sall, or
Was it Ablai Wad? No, not Wad.
When Ablai was there, he did not work with the French that much. He worked with the Chinese and some other growing in the Turkish. So in Senegal, they don't have resources. Right. They don't have they don't have resources, right? So
No,
you have to work with certain people to generate revenue, But when they came, they said, well, they're not going to, they kick the French out, and then they don't have anybody to work with. So every development that they do in Senegal, they have to tax the individual Senegalese, they tax the citizens. So now the Senegalese, their pockets is filling the tax money. So they said, no, what these guys then came in power, they said they're going to do everything right. But the reality is picking up because these guys were just a tax collector. Tax collector in Africa. They
Oh
don't do that
yeah,
much
you're right.
experience.
You're right. You're right.
They
He
don't
was
do
a
that
tax
much
collector.
experience. Tax collector, what they do, they go from store to store, they collect money from the Lebanese and stuff like that. So these are the people that you're going to give your country to run. And I said this before. I said these guys, they are very young for them to run Senegal. They have no experience, but because of the populism, they came. Oh, Macky Sall is stealing money. When we come, we're going to change the system. Even two of them, they were fighting among themselves. Do you know that they were fighting? Because
yeah, that's what I heard. You're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
They were fighting because this guy Usman Sonko said that he helped this guy Juma Faye to become a president, right? Because he was the most popular guy, right? So, and they both were working in the same department, as in the revenue department in Dakar. So when Macky Sall jailed Usman Sonko, thinking that Usman Sonko, once he jails Usman Sonko, is not going to have enemy to become a president. So he chose Jomai Faye, that people should vote for Jomai Faye. That's how he became president. So now he's the president. Usman Sonko also felt that, okay, if it's not me, nobody knows in Senegal. It's because of me that they voted for you. So there's a one Maringa lady they call Fatoumata. So she worked with Usman Sonko, and Jomai Faye wanted to fire this lady. And Usman Sonko said, no, you can fire her. So it was a big fight between both of them. But again, Senegal, one thing for them is they have those religious, those marabout that they go to and talk to them. So all of them have those type of religious, people that they go and consult.
Yeah, African spirituality, religion. Yeah, I know.
Right. So they went to these religious, spiritual leaders, and then when they settle among themselves. But up to this time, when they won the African Cup of Nations, there was some sort of unity among them, but there's some sort of bad feeling among them because you got to understand this other guy too. He got two wives, right? So he was speaking against France. Now he sent one of his wives in France to go to school. So why would you do that? You're speaking against France. Now you might find one of his wives to go to school in France, spend a lot of money on her. Right?
Why are these guys so obsessed?
And they spend a lot of money because Macky Sall was there. He was buying more of Japanese car. But when those guys came, they buying German car, like Mercedes Benz, BMW.
See?
So this
See, they're doing the same thing that they accused Macky Sall of. They're doing the same thing.
Right. So I
Man,
think they're gonna have tough time to rule Senegal. You know, but Senegal they don't have resources, but it's well organized people to pay tax, but they work with other countries to manage the country. Even other countries with resources, the way Senegal is managed, it's far better than most of these countries.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
they have a system and they have a
very
system
good
in place.
And because of Senghor, when Senghor was there, the guy who gave them independence,
Right.
one thing he did, he said, well, let's work with the Europeans to develop our country. We shouldn't rush for independence. So he made sure he explored the European to develop Senegal, you know.
Yes.
And they have a very good system in place, you know.
Yes.
They have a very good
Yeah,
institution.
they do have a very educated, strong diaspora. I noticed that about them. And they're not tribalistic people. That's one thing that helped them. They're more nationalistic than tribalistic. And that's one thing other African countries need to learn from Senegal. And I think that's why
quite a while now that a lot of African, when we talk about this tribalism, we never talk about the solution. Look at other African countries that don't have as much tribalism issue. Is because they're nationalistic, and people may say that we should choose one form of tribalism over another. Then I feel that's how they see it. I think it's so, because it's rather to see yourself as part of one country so you can actually make progress than to see yourself as individual people within a country that you're always going to be against each other. That's why I would rather prefer that, because in another thing when it comes to this is also how it helps total African unity. Well, for example, the African Union is bullshit, to put it simple. And the reason is because they're trying to, I would rather people to focus more regionally, for example, meaning the regional blocks that actually understand each other, that can form that kind of identity will be far better for those nations to actually develop, for example, when they're talking about the African unity. Because if a regional bloc from one area, they can identify themselves and actually work together, can work easier with another regional bloc. That's another thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, that's the reason why, CD, I was so disappointed to see the Mano River Union children are having a fight over a little land, instead of developing and integrating. And that was really disappointing. But I'm glad that they started to fix that problem now, moving forward. And according to the new, communique, according to the new communique, they will be working together instead of working against each other. So I hope one day Sierra Leone, Liberia, Ivory Coast, and Guinea can actually form a new bloc, and work together, because we have a very great, talented people, and we have one of the most natural resources in the region, and we have one of the biggest and most educated people in diaspora. And I think we can actually add Senegal into that as well. I think we should bring Senegal into the Amano River Union in the future, if that ever to come to fruition. Absolutely, because we are the same people, and also we intermarried a lot, in that.
Senegal is a very, very important country. They
very.
They have a lot of educated people. They are very educated, and it's very easy for them to assimilate. And they are all
they
assimilate. And they are business-oriented people. Wherever they go, they focus on doing business. I have this Senegalese guy. He get one of the 5-star restaurants. In fact, he's a Madika. He live on 123. He get one of the best restaurants in Harlem because he said,
"Wow,
Wow. They are business-oriented people. Yeah. But
to be honest, even in Sierra Leone, CD, I'll tell you, my dad is the fuller, but my dad, his best friend is Mandinka, and my dad best friend ever he actually have put more effort in helping his best friend than his own family, because his best friend, when they was younger, he's the one that guided him as his older brother. Okay, even his own brother, that he came from the same mother and same father, was very wealthy. He never done nothing for my dad. But is this Mandinka brother who called my dad? He said, "Look, you need to stop working with your brother. He's not doing nothing for you. Come, I'll show you what to do." Because my dad was hardworking. And I went to his place, CD, when I went to Sierra Leone. I went to Bo, Bo district. That's where he lived. When he saw me, he cried, man. He tried. He said, "Hey man," he said, "You look like your dad." My dad passed away. He said, "Yeah," and my dad built his home for him, man. And every month, me and my entire family, we send money for him, man. You know, every month throughout, as long as we're alive, we look after him and his family. It's because of, we don't look at tribalism in Sierra Leone. We intermarriage. You know, my dad, older brother, his wife, they have different
That is
wives.
perfect. Intermarriage with African. No
Yes,
tribalism.
yes, it's the best way forward, man. Because he brings.
Yes,
Yeah.
Sierra Leone is a very liberal country. I know
Yeah.
if you visit some home, half of the family are Christians, some are Muslims. Even the my
Yeah.
dad are laid there too. Because my dad, he
Yes.
was more of like involved in diamond business. So he used to
Right,
explain
right,
this
right.
story. He lived in Sepadu before. My dad lived in Sierra Leone before. Before
Ah.
going to Congo. He went to
Oh,
Congo for
good game,
diamond,
See?
He was more like
Good
a
game.
diamond chaser,
But see, Sefado was a hybrid of Fula, Mandinka, and they were the one that mixed. And we have small, tiny bit of Bambara, but not many, but tiny bit. Well, it was because the Kono people, Kono people are Mandinka people anyway. You know that, yeah?
Yeah.
So it was a hybrid town. They made loads of money in that town, and they work together. And if you notice in Sierra Leone, most of the elites, they have connection to that town today. Like political elites and that. It's intermarriages, and it's very important. Senegalese brothers, when I'm around them, I don't differentiate which tribe and which tribe. They all look alike, bro. Even- they all look alike, and they all are together. And I think most African people need to learn from them and learn from us how to get along, man. Well, I can't see that happening because a lot of African people that we surround ourselves with, they're very primitive in their talk. They don't see beyond their tribe, which is a shame, man.
When I'm collecting money from Africa, I get it through the Senegalese.
I travel is not kill Africa alone, but travel is not alone.
Because of the
When you get that trouble now,
in their own
I
tribes.
do not look at traveling, brother.
And over again. And if you don't get rid of those elders' way of thinking, then that problem is still going to exist. You have to start with the elders. They're the problem. And you can't see them saying, "Oh, I love my grandmother." Listen, I love my grandfather and my grandmother. I love them all. But at the end of the day, their thinking is an old way of thinking that needs to be put to the side. And that also means a lot of people who are like around the 30s and 40s need to get involved in politics a lot more. Like one thing I look at the Senegalese president is he's a lot younger than most presidents. Like look at Cameroon's president. Again, 92-year-old man. That man should be a dinosaur by now. Honestly.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yeah, this is
embarrassing.
I'm not saying elder doesn't mean wisdom, but sometimes we confuse wisdom with just age alone.
Okay, I already break my fast. Take care, my brother, yeah?
Yeah, it's time for okay, man.
All right, thank you, man. All right, love, thank you. All right. Yeah, moralist, done.
Yeah, just my point is that we can't. If you want to make change, you can't be just surfing by. Meaning you can't just look and say, okay, I'll wait for my turn. You have to be proactive. You have to be, in a sense, arrogant as well. And that's dangerous, but you have to be willing to do that. Because at the end of the day, these old people are never going to give up their power. For example, I don't know this tribal land thing, okay? The tribal land thing, like chiefs have land and stuff like that. That's a primitive way of doing things. How that land, like how these because maybe it's a West Africa.
Sorry, can somebody mute? Somebody's mic is not really helping the audio. Is that you, brother? Can you mute? Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So unless you can explain it to me, I don't understand how this tribal land thing works. Like these chiefs hold this land and they don't develop it at all. Like, how does that work?
Hold on, man. Where you from? Where you from?
Eastern Africa.
Eastern Africa. Where? Kenya, Tanzania?
Tanzania.
Tanzania,
okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. You from Tanzania, right? You all over there. And then look how you talking about West Africans. You don't really understand the reason why.
That's why I'm asking to explain something.
And I remember your voice yesterday. You the guy that stuck on democracy crap. You the one that mentioned democracy and all these things, right? Democracy crap that you was, because Africans that constantly use the word democracy, be very careful with them.
What? Wait, what? Wait, what? Okay, exactly what did I say?
Hold on.
Exactly what did I say? You're gonna accuse me for something. Tell me what I said.
Let's see.
What did I
Let me
say?
get to this topic real quick, right?
No, why you mumble rapping? What did I say? What did I say? You say I said democracy crap. What did I say?
Yeah, because you just mentioned with the Chiefs, and then you said you just insulted the Chiefs, West Africa.
I said this Chief system tribal land doesn't make any sense.
Hold on.
Use correct words, brother.
You even said the Chief stole the lands.
I didn't say they stole the land. I did not say they stole it.
You even said it.
That hold his
I
land.
told y'all yesterday what happened.
That's part of the problem.
Listen.
Don't
you guys what happened,
bro. That's what I said right here.
No, you did. Don't make me grab my don't make me grab my other device and then go back and play. You did.
Okay, let's
you did.
Yeah, let's make it
Mr. Tanzania. I told you the reason why the system got messed up. It's a system. We are colonized people. We are conquered people. You understand me, right? The
so that's true. I agree with that.
Their job was to protect the land. The land protect the people and empower the people. I told you that. I clearly told you that. And I said they are doing the opposite.
Which is,
you
I'm saying they're not developing it. That's what I've said.
I just gave you a perfect reason, and then all the things you saying they're not developing. What power do we have? Okay, you're from Tanzania, right? Now let's get back to the topic, right? Let's see how ridiculous we are. Look at this happened with the Africa Cup of Nation, right? How can you overrule that? Do you know, right? Do you know that the reason why they overruled that, right? The Africa Cup of Nation, right, is changing the date where usually played in December. Now it's playing in June and July. So which means now eventually it's gonna compete with the European Cup, you know what I'm saying, like whatever they called it. The Europeans never wanted that. The CFA, whatever they call it, the organization, most of the budget, sponsoring wise, is sponsored by who? The European Union. So how could an organization like this vote against this thing? What it does now, it makes the competition look ridiculous. That's how stupid we are as people.
That's sad, man.
I keep telling people people don't understand anything a European put themselves in. It's not to benefit you or your people. It's to benefit them. But people always come up here and act like, oh, this and that. I'm telling y'all, the same because it was the CFA people that voted against this, you know what I'm saying, for this thing to approve. So which means that the European Union told them to vote against it, to remove the cup and then hand it to what you call it, Morocco. So we can determine it as well. People, it's the same thing with the what you call it, the African nation that we call that. You know, we have African nation, like whatever they call it, right? You know, African Union. It's the same organization. What they just did. People die every year. Millions of people died every year, but they can't even come together and then sanction a country like to support like Congo. They allowed millions of people die for over 60 years now. 60 years now, and now all of a sudden, ECOWAS wants to have a ECOWAS force. All of a sudden, because of what? Some 3 countries don't like what the hell they're doing. They want to take their own country, their own directions now. So now ECOWAS have their own ECO force, like whatever the F they call it. But 60 years, they can't even come with like, let's say, 100,000 men to go defend Congo and liberate the country. That's why I said we are ridiculous, man. People come up here every day. Some of these old people giving you some speech and stuff like that. How can you reverse this competition and then hand it to Morocco? You basically weaken the tournament. The tournament was already in a bad date on December because it affect the club, the club teams, right? And then African nations only had about like a whole week just to practice. But when it's the European nation, time to play. It's like a big holiday for us in June and July. They present to us as if it's like World Cup. But then when the African nations decided to change the time and the date, so then it won't affect players that play for what you know what I'm saying, for their clubs, right? They don't like it because it affect them. They want everything to shine under them. They want the European Nation Cup to look like it's World Cup. But then at the same time, most of these players play for a club as well. So the tournament is at the wrong time. So when the African nation decide to change the time and date, they don't go, oh, our master said they don't like it. So now they want to belittle us again, public-wise, because this is very shameful. How can you have an organization and it's funded by the European Union? Why would the European Union fund your organization?
Just like
ECOWAS. This is mad.
Just like ECOWAS.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. And then people come up here telling us about democracy. I mean, look at it, man.
In all fairness, moralist, yeah.
Okay.
Did I say that? No, did I say that?
Okay, I'll come after you.
Just give me 1 minute. One minute.
Did I say that?
Yeah, moralist, we'll let him finish. Yeah, go on.
Okay, finish.
Yeah.
1 minute to step in, right? 1 minute. Look at how during the tournament, right? Especially the semi-final or the quarterfinal, right? Against Nigeria.
Yeah.
Look how ridiculous Morocco behaved. Like it's Nigeria with the towel. Look how ridiculous Morocco behaved, right? The FIFA president never came publicly or even said something or threatened them at all.
He was enjoying it.
Yes, exactly.
He was enjoying
Morocco
it.
then repeat the same behavior on the final, the same exact behavior. They even went farther as well. They had their players stand on the opposite goal line, watching the goalkeeper. The FIFA haven't done nothing like that. Who do you think control FIFA? FIFA controlled by Europeans. European people, they don't ever want competition in anything. They want to be the dominant in anything. So when they attach yourself to your country, it's not because they see you as equal to them. They will never see you as equal to them. It's for them to subjugate your people. This is what Africans don't understand. Africans think, oh, I'm attached to these people. They care about us. Oh, this and that. They don't give a F about you or your people. All they care about is to subjugate your people under their own term. In anything.
Yeah.
In anything. You're going to watch the World Cup. You're going to see Africans representing France, representing England, representing Germany now, representing Belgium, Netherlands. But we can't even create our own. Instead, we bitch and cry about it. Because you know why? We want attachment to white men. This is why I said the last time, create your own. You cannot attach yourself to an entity that don't see you equal. The world runs on race and power. That's how it is.
Yeah.
But Africans still have this belief that, kumbaya, let me attach myself to Europeans. And then they still come up and tell you about democracy.
Let me know when you're done. You've been talking for a while. It's been over a minute now.
Yeah.
No,
come on, Sam.
You come every day.
I cut you off again, bro. It's been more than a minute now.
You come and speak some crap. Go ahead and talk. Go ahead and speak.
Okay, thank you. No, thank you, Bang. So, Morales, no, Bang, 1 second, Bang. Morales, 1 second. One thing I had, Morales, the only thing I had, Bang, in all fairness, what I had, Bang said, hang on, Morales, wait, I'm with you. The one thing I heard Morales said, he was not for democracy. He said democracy is no good for Africa because of lack of focus on stability. And that's one thing I heard him said on his thing yesterday. Because he was giving an example in Tanzania, Africa need dictators and hard fist, iron fist to rule us because we are not easy people to rule. But all I'm gonna say to you guys and Blanc, you make valid. Yeah, is that right? Is that right, Morales?
Not exactly. I'm not saying we need a dictator, but I'm saying you can't have democracy even if you want it in unstable nation that have no institutions. So
right.
But I understand. Go on. Let you finish.
Yeah. So okay. So basically, what you both make valid points. I cannot disagree to a lot of the things that you said. Even if I don't agree with everything, but you both make valid points. Absolutely. The reality is what we're facing now. What black people need to understand. We cannot keep blaming the others. Blaming white people for our own failure. We need to end this because it's lack of responsibility. The minute you start pointing finger at other people for your own problem, you have already failed. As a man, you need to learn responsibility.
Africa. I have issues with Africans that don't want to create their own. They still want to attach to the same entity. That's what I have a problem with. I keep
agree.
telling people, create your own. You see how China, you see how Russia, whatever you think about these countries, at the end of the day, they could still beat them chess independently. But
Even if we're
Africans,
poor,
for some
Exactly what I
reason,
said as well, by the way. I'm
hang on,
saying
hang
they
on.
just want
Even
to
if we're
attach
poor,
themselves
I don't know why
even
you're
if
to
we're
talking
poor,
over
entity.
we're on.
They see them,
No, but
they
he's not
see
talking about
them
you,
as
Morris. He's
animals.
just making his own point. Yeah.
This is
Even if
what I
we're
don't understand.
poor, even if we're poor in the dust, we should just be proud and
Look
trying to
what they
get
just did to
ourselves from it
look what they just
and
did to a
work our
couple
way out.
African nation.
Mm.
Why you think they got the
You know,
vote? Because of the presidents that represent any country in Africa, they fund these organizations. So of course they're gonna
they
vote
do, they
against the
do.
stupid, ridiculous. Exactly.
The reason why they fund a lot
it.
of this organization is to vote
It's to
on
control it.
being aligned. Yeah, it's to align with them in the
It's
United
to
Nations when it
control
comes
it.
to
It's to
voting.
control it.
Yeah.
It's to control it. And at the
Also,
same
yeah.
time,
Also,
at the
I
same time,
mean,
the entity will not
do you notice?
rise. But you know
Do
what I'm saying.
yeah,
So then
yeah. Do
it
you notice
weakens it.
also,
It
Ban?
weakens the purpose of it.
I just
Yeah, I
want to
agree.
let you know
Go
I
ahead.
didn't make my
Do you
point
also
yet.
notice
Go on.
the francophone? Sorry, do you notice the French African countries? The French-speaking African countries are very. I don't want to use this word, man. There's something I find really disturbing about them, man. How they can be so submissive to the French and being controlled like on a level. I mean, we in the British colonies, of course, we have our own issues, no doubt. But when we have a bit more, we control our currencies, we have our central banks, we got a
No,
tiny
no,
bit of
no, 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 no,
control.
no, 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 no. Don't. Africa. I understand what you're saying.
Mm,
There's
mm.
slight difference there. Slight difference there. Slight
Yeah,
difference
that's
there.
what I'm trying
I
to say.
understand what you're
Slight
saying.
different,
But
but
slight difference.
remember,
But
no, hang on, let me finish. Let me finish. You cannot have your own destiny in the French. You can okay. For example, a mining company want to go and mine in Sierra Leone today. They don't have to go to Britain to contact the British government to do that. They can go
yes, they do.
directly to the
Yes,
Sierra
they
Leone
do.
government.
Yes, they do.
Do
Yes,
they
they
have
do.
to?
Yes, they do.
Yes,
Yes,
they.
they do. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Right.
Right?
Mm.
It might not. It might
Okay,
not be
okay.
on the physical paper compared to the French African speaking countries. It's not there on a
Mm.
direct contract like that, right? I mentioned this before, right? If I want to be a president of my country, even you know that anybody that have common decent sense, right? If
No,
you
I'm
if you
talking
do
about being a
study these things,
president.
right?
No,
I'm
yeah, I
coming.
understand. They go to Chatham House. Yeah,
Hold on.
some
I'm
of them.
coming. If I gotta go through the England, right, and tell the British government that I want to be a president, right, and then they approve it, right, and at the same time, if the election is being controlled by the European Union, what leverage do I have as well if I do become the president? Obviously, they chose me. This is the reason why they chose me, because I went through their own protocol for me to even become a president, for me to become even a candidate. So of course, if we discover a mining, whatever somewhere, I have to go through the protocol because they're the one that put me in power. So for us to come up here and then point at this, microphone this because of we are a little slightly better. Oh no, we not. We are not. We under the same people, the same people. So let's be honest, right? Because if your election is being controlled by the European Union, why would they come and then control your election? They do it for a reason, because it favors them, because they have a candidate that they want to make sure that candidate wins the election. That candidate has already agreed to everything that they wanted. He or she cannot do. That is absolutely facts. So it's the same thing with this French-speaking African countries. The only difference is on a physical paper contract wise. That's all I'm saying. But it's pitiful.
Okay.
It's pitiful how Africans up to
How
this
long
day
do you need,
still
bro?
want
How
to
long do
attach
you need?
himself to these people, man.
Yeah, no, okay, so okay, I hear you, man. All I'm trying to say is how long we have to keep blaming these people for our own problems. We need to stand up. We need to man up. That's the reality.
It's
We
the old
cannot just
people
say,
that
oh, it's
it's the
because,
old people that come up
yeah, I
here.
know. That's
It's the old people that come up
yeah,
here and tell you
cut
a
him
lot of
off, man.
things.
You don't let me when I cut you off.
My man. Sorry, my man.
yeah, please. Yeah, so it is our own fault. Honestly, it's our own fault. Us Africans, it's our fault because nobody got the gun in our heads to do it. And even if they do, Let them do it. Yeah, let them do it. And the reason why I'm saying the Anglophone countries tend to be more better off is because they don't have this legal clause like the French countries, the Francophone do with their economy. They don't have the clause.
Can
See?
I add on
So
that?
yeah, go on.
Just real quick, like specifically, I would say if you're a francophone country, and again, this is why I say I'd rather people quote me correctly because I never promoted democracy. I will always say that's why I got angry when it's like, why are you accusing me of something I never said? But the Anglophone countries, whatever path they chose, the reason they're better off is because England itself, one, is that it was very different from France in the way they structured things, and they didn't actually want to keep control like the French. The French are like more, I'm not going to use the word because you're on YouTube, but say grape without the G. That's all I'll say. They're far more that in thinking. They don't really want to let go of things like the England. That's why we were better off. Let's not act like, no, if the British, if we were what do you call it? Francophone
Yeah,
nation.
Francophone, yeah.
If we're a Francophone nation, we would not have been better off. I will say that straight up. And that I'll definitely acknowledge. But so I can't act like you can't control your destiny if another nation is controlling your currency. It's very difficult.
Exactly. Thank you. Absolutely. And you don't have that's the bottom line. Fine, one second, one second. That's the point I'm trying to say here. Once somebody got your pocket finances, they got you in a pocket. They got you. Selling this day and age because you cannot survive without it. And I did not realize even a basic company who want to go and invest in a francophone West Africa, they have to have authorization from the French. What kind of life is that?
Yeah, that's
and you can see why these Moroccans are treating the Senegalese brothers like a joke because they got the French on their side. So, for example, if Senegal want to do anything like into this issue here, they gonna laugh at them. They be like, "Hang on a minute," like the Algerians and all that. Yeah, these people are closer to the French. They always have crossed the alliance. They'll be like, "Where you gonna go? Where you gonna run to, bro?"
You see Africa. What you and your partner trying to do, right? You guys trying to be selective of these problems.
No,
right?
I am not. I am not.
Hold on.
You're very accusatory, bro, and you haven't provided any facts.
No.
Hold on. Let me speak. Were wrong.
No, I did. I was the one that come up with the what do you call it? The CFA, whatever they call it, right? The organization who sponsor it. It's the European Union. So which means now the European Union told whatever president of Tanzania that represent the CFA, the European Union told the individual, vote yes on this right here. Same thing in my country as well. You understand me, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So no matter how you put it, how you this and that, until you sponsor your own organization, you put people that have the same agenda.
Can you repeat that?
The same belief system. The result will always be the same. See, this is the problem. Right? You said,
wait,
hold on. You said
Morocco. I don't know what you said exactly. I'm confused.
Y'all said Morocco is with the French, right? So of course, like that's why Morocco said, what y'all gonna do about it and stuff like that, right? It's not even about the French, right? The European Union sponsored the CFA. They sponsored the CFA. So the entire
but it's the same thing. The French and the Germans control European Union.
No.
They do. The French and the Germans control it.
Who can also tell like a country that's not in the francophone to vote yes in what? I'm confused. That's the thing. I'm not. What are you saying exactly? I'm confused.
Okay. Let me say this. Let me say this, right? In FIFA, right? You got FIFA, which is the governing body, right? The same thing you have the governing body of Africa Cup of Nations. You understand me, right?
Dennis is not. You can call me next, my brother Louis. After.
Yeah. After this, Louis, please, I beg you. Each country have a president. You understand me, right? For you to pass a vote, each country has to vote on it. This organization is being sponsored by the European Union. Majority of it sponsored comes from European Union, right? So for them to hear this case right here saying, Senegal is did this and did this, right? So the people that represent us has to vote on it. That's why I said it was the Africans that vote yes on it.
I said that.
It was
at the beginning of the stream.
Because the European Union is the one that sponsored it, which means now they're the ones that pick your president to represent the the CFA.
Well, that's the point. You just agreed to my point again. You just agreed to my
Let me
point.
clarify one thing. Let me ask you a question. I want you to clarify one thing. You're saying, okay, let me ask you this question. You are saying the European Union is selecting the president, not the president of a country, the president of CAF for each country. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. There's no argument on that.
No, that's not true.
I'm not gonna.
What he's trying to say is, the European Union, for example, the French, are behind the CAF. They sponsor it, and that is not far from the truth. And no, okay, prove me wrong. Okay. I mean, if I'm wrong, I'm always here to learn. Please help me, please.
Okay, that's not true. Okay, CAF is as an organization, they are sponsored by FIFA because they come under FIFA. Okay, but they don't. CAF select their leader from within Africa among the CAF members. Okay, I know they're not, because our last FA president, who was very high up, he was going to be a FIFA. He was, in fact, before that scandal took place, I forgot his name. He was up to be one of the next presidents of FIFA itself. But there was a big scandal with corruption when they got rid of the Sepp Blatter and all his henchmen, including the Ghana FA guy, right, who was caught live on BBC, putting £1 million in the black bean bag. He was so corrupt. All the football organizations are very corrupt, including the current FIFA. So they have to swap everything around and start again with this guy, and they're doing the same crap. It's a power grab. And the last thing they want is Africans to win a competition like the World Cup, because they don't want you to be stimulated in beating any nation, because psychologically sports has a big effect on people. So it's more than just a game. But us Africans, we can see it as a game. For them, it's not. So they're going to do everything to keep you back. I say this because I'm an ex-professional, semi-professional footballer here in England. I used to play for Woking, Dagenham and Redbridge. I've been to all them racist clubs in the Essex. That's why you know my accent so well. I left it some time ago. But partly what he's saying is right. But the leaders that comes out of Africa, they are selected by the CAF, the African nations themselves. And during the World Cup, South African World Cup, that was proven, because they didn't want the South African guy, the guy who was head of it, they didn't want South Africa to get it. But the guy fought hard. Eventually, it came to South Africa, right? And during that fight, I realized that CAF himself was independent, but they have influences as they get bigger. Yeah, but what's happening is that FIFA have got their hands in this, okay? And the Arab nations, the Arab nation, North African nations such as Morocco, Algeria, they've always
I would say the Arab nation as well. I will not put the Arab nation past this. I believe they're behind it.
Let me say this,
I understand, but let me say this land.
Yeah, let Louis land there.
The North African nations, okay, they've always been a powerhouse in football. They haven't been the best. So basically, what's happening is that they've come in now, and they're trying to reset themselves because they've invested a lot of money in football. But the natural talent is still with the black nations, so they go out their way to want to be on the top. Right. And FIFA was cheating. I mean, there was a clip going around, doing the rounds on the internet with the current FIFA executive in the executive box when they were watching a match, and he got upset when Senegal won. He was very upset. He didn't want to hold the cup and give it to the Saudi man. He didn't want to do that. You can go on YouTube and see it. My brother, who's a professor, sent me that clip. That's when I knew the political undertone. So you've got to remember that the people at the top, they don't really want black nations to win that cup. It's psychological. Yeah. If black countries want to pull out, they can do what Kwame Nkrumah done in 1966. They were only nations that was coming to represent Africa, and Nkrumah pulled out. So you can pull out if you want to pull out.
Yeah, I think it's the best idea. Right? And I think also, my point, sorry, 1 second. I'll let you go. 1 second, man. I'll let you go. Okay. Yeah, go on, man.
Let me see this real quick, right? Okay. You had Nigeria have won the African Cup of Nations. I think Senegal has won it too, right? People not listen to what I said earlier. The issue is because of the date. The African Cup of Nations, they not playing it. They didn't want to play it in December no more. They want to play it in June and July. You understand me, right? The European Union did not want that. They did not want it because they see it as a competition against their own tournament. You
Yeah, there's
understand me,
nothing
right?
they
The
can do about
European
that.
Union want hold on. They want their own competition to be as prestige to the World Cup. You understand me, right? So when
I
the
know.
African Union voted against that because of they wanted to change the time to June and July.
Yeah.
That's when they went
But,
after this thing
my
right here.
point,
This is what
where
after
I
this
was
thing.
coming at.
Look it up. I'm gonna end
Okay.
this. 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
No,
Look it
no,
up,
I
right?
understand.
Half of the sponsor of the CFA, the body governor organization, right? The money comes from European Union. Look it up if you don't believe me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna end this right
okay.
here. Why would European Union
Well,
sponsor
the European Union are part of FIFA. They got most of the countries in Europe.
No. You see, people think FIFA play fairly. People think FIFA
We
care
know
about
that.
They're
African
corrupt.
Americans.
We know
and
that. We know that,
States.
but we know they're
Who do you
corrupt.
think
We know they're
control
corrupt.
FIFA?
Well, who controls
no,
the
okay.
world?
If they
Bang. My point. Okay, my point where I was coming at saying, thank you, Bang. My point where I was coming at saying European Union is part of the people who sponsor FIFA is because it's one of the corporations who sponsor FIFA. Just I think the Middle Eastern population, like the Saudis, are coming into it also. So you can see where they're coming in. Their money is coming in. We know, Louis, you know that anyway. We live in the UK.
Yeah,
I think actually. I think they're going to be leading FIFA very soon by the time you know it. And I think this is where the influence of this decision that coming from. Probably the Arab nation have lobbied so hard to FIFA to say, look, our Arab brothers been treated unfairly in the continent. We think, the black brothers, misbehave. How these people look down, yeah. So we want that cup back given to Morocco, otherwise it's not going to fund it because the Saudis, and like companies like Adidas. 1 second, let me just land. Companies like Adidas and these multinational corporations are the one that funding FIFA and most of this organization. It's not really coming from the European Union government per se, but it's coming from European corporations and American and Middle Eastern corporations. So we're behind the game. We're behind the game, bro. This is sad for Black race. It's so painful.
No, listen, see what it is. Okay, it's power. In 1980, I think 1980 or no 82 World Cup or so, 82, 84. I was a young boy at St. Paul's Way Secondary School. That's where Jamie Redknapp went to school. His father.
Harry Redknapp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, wow.
I went to school there. Right. This is. There was hardly any Asians there back then. Now it's about 90%. The school that is.
Wow.
It was a really good school. And I remember being in the we're watching the World Cup. This was because they were playing it. I think Morocco, Mexico or so. It was beamed here about 3:30 in the afternoon or so. So after school, we can go in there and watch it if we didn't want to go home and watch it. So we was watching it with our PE teachers, and there was no black nation in there. I think the nearest we got to Africa was Morocco, and not Algeria. They were the qualified. Only one team was allowed from Africa, and they qualified. And their team was really made up of ex-servicemen from the army, but they were good players, and they used to play against all the other teams. So they were the ones selected, and I remember cheering them on. They beat the favorite who won the competition, Germany. They beat them, and they were supposed to go through the next round. But what happened was the next game they had to draw or win one of them. But Germany done something dirty with one of the other top teams, and they played for a draw and ended up kicking Algeria out. Right. So in them days, the Arab nations, when in the North Africa, when they came for football, they were going through the same shit we were. But today, because they've got Arab money, and the Arab people are no longer doing horse races, they don't care about that. They put money in football. That's where the money's at. So now you're fighting not just your talent, you now got to fight the finance, and that's what we don't have.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you just hit the nail on the hammer. Yeah, in the head. Yeah. Go on.
In any vote of this CFA Africa organization, right? The Black Africans has the majority vote. No matter what, you look at all these countries. So that's why I said this is why I said hold on. We got the vote. The Arab vote is probably maybe 15% when you look at it.
But that vote can be influenced by money, man. Remember that. Africans are corrupt.
I'm coming. And vote could be influenced by money, right? Just like you said, right? If the European Union is the one that sponsors our organization, come on now, Africa, man. What's the point? What's the point of you trying to twist it around.
Right,
You
right.
clearly just keep agreeing with what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, listen.
Africans believe that if I attach myself to white people, it's good. I keep telling Africans, create your own. Stop
listen.
attaching yourself to these people. What is so magical with that?
Hello, Ben. Hello.
What is so magical with that?
Listen, Ben. Hello.
Yeah,
We are all familiar with the weakness of the black man. Okay, right?
Oh my God, man! He trying to give some democracy speech, man.
No,
come on,
I'm
Louis,
trying to
man.
get
Louis
you-
trying to come up here and give some goddamn
get-
democracy speech, man.
Man,
some of y'all
Lewis is making a point though, Bang. Also,
I'm trying to get you to look at reality rather than your own self-serving point of view you keep looking at all the time. It's becoming redundant. Okay, this is the reality. During the 1980s, the most lethal cricket team were the West Indian cricket team. And anybody who lived in England would tell you how we black people used to love seeing them. During the apartheid time, they will come here and smash teams to bits. They will meet the South Africans, they will smash them to pieces over here because they wouldn't go to South Africa to play. They were that good, like the way the black basketball players are. They smashed everybody, but they didn't have the finance to sponsor the big tour. So one of my dads, my friend's dad, who's from Jamaica, who knew most of the players and all that, he said to me, every now and then you got to let England draw or win one odd game. Why? Because they're the ones sponsoring the tour. Yeah? Every now and then you got to let them win one or two because the power comes from the finance. It's like the black players and the owners of those big NFL clubs. That's how it works. It's a balance. But compared to the days of old, we've got more power now. We're in the World Cup. We weren't even in the World Cup before. Then when we got in the World Cup, I said our first entrance, and Nkrumah said no. He pulled out in 1966. And then we was only allowed one team from the whole of Africa. Now look how many of us coming through. They don't want that thing to happen, but it's going to happen anyway. So let them do what they're going to do.
Is that the year when they have the Abedi Pele time those days? Yeah.
No, the 1960 World Cup. This was way before Abedi Pele. Abedi Pele was probably just born, right? 1960 was when Nkrumah was still in power, and then he set up the Black Stars to uplift the nation up and so on. Yeah, and they had a good team, the best. I mean, they were really good, right? So what happened was they pulled out the World Cup because of the South Africa situation to bring highlight to that, yeah, and so on. So you've got to listen right now. If everybody gets, they're going to have a meeting in the CAF, and if they've got any backbone, they're going to decide they're going to boycott the next World Cup. They can do that over this decision, and plus the nonsense that Trump is coming out with anyway. I don't think this World Cup might happen anyway. Let's see, right? But we are.
I think you're right.
The World Cup is happening. It's happening.
Okay.
No, obviously it's going to happen. 100% is going to happen. America would not allow that. Come on now.
No. Listen.
Let's not take it that far.
Anybody, listen.
No, the World Cup's going to happen.
Hang on.
Ridiculous of what you think.
Listen, at the moment,
it's ridiculous what you think, man.
Right,
Let's focus on
Hello,
African CFA.
Can you let me have a word in?
Let's focus on CFA.
Okay.
But let Louis. We've spoken of. Let Louis speak, man.
Many countries, including Germany, Holland, who are the powerhouses, many others their politicians are already saying that 9 out of 10 they're going to pull out. So we're still not fully 100% sure yet. So FIFA is working the magic in the background. Right, so that's what you got to watch out.
Lewis.
Come on, let me just land, bro. You've been on the show for an hour.
What power do you think the European master has compared to America? What power?
Can you just let me make my point?
But let him land, man, because Louis can learn from Louis. Louis used to be a professional footballer, and being a footballer in the UK, we see a lot of the stuff, man.
Okay,
listen, right here. No, let me just land before I lose my chain of thought.
He's gonna need about 3 minutes.
Right? Before I lose my chain of thought. Those countries at the moment, if they pull out, we're only talking about 3 or 4. It won't even be considered a World Cup. And trust me, the rest, you see that it'll be like a domino effect. So don't feel yourself guaranteed, right? The reason why we even allowed a lot of America to get so involved in soccer and so on, because they banned soccer one time, right? Because the NFL was so powerful, is because they want to make it a worldwide thing where we all hold hands under the rainbow, sing this and that. If the African teams don't come to the World Cup, ain't even going to be a World Cup. So think about that.
Man, let me say this, right? It's funny how somebody could come up here and tell us, oh, if the German politicians that said, oh, the World Cup won't take place in America. Do you realize what you're saying?
Yes,
Do you realize what the Americans could do to the Germans? Hold on. Who do you think currently selling gas to German right now?
Who?
Who do you think doing that? Who do you think selling gas for that to these people? It's the United States government.
So bloody what?
If okay. You live in Europe, right?
Hey, hello.
You live in
This is soccer, not NFL or basketball.
Yeah. What happens then when they run out of gas? What happens, man?
Friend,
come on, man. Don't come up here and tell me as if the Germans don't do what they say. The American government tells the Germans what to do, and then they bow down.
Not anymore. Not England. Bang, not England. You see what we done to you guys right now, yeah? You see what England done to you guys?
It was my time. He finished. It was my time. He finished. Africans still come up here and said, "Oh, if the Europeans, say this, the World Cup won't happen." What levers do they have?
They're the powerhouse. They're the powerhouse of soccer. The European nations are the powerhouse of soccer, not America.
What do you mean?
Okay.
What do you mean?
You guys don't win no bloody soccer big tournaments. The World Cup is not gonna go nowhere. It's gonna stay exactly where it belongs. Okay, let's wait and see.
In all fairness, Bang, Aramco, which was Aramco? Aramco is Saudi and American corporation, right? Is that right? Can someone help me?
Yeah. The thing is this,
Aramco.
It is
true.
But
Bang, one second, man.
Saudi Arabian state company that produces all. Yes.
Yeah, I think they're catching up. In fact, So if you look at all the corporations, so America and Saudi, the Middle East, and the Europeans are the biggest sponsor of FIFA in the world. Okay. So I think Louis might be right in that.
It's in Europe and South America.
It's in Europe.
Man,
in terms of funding. But
you guys don't understand what I was trying to say.
No, but it's in terms of funding. And also when you think about when you talk about we have to follow America. I think that trend is coming to an end, Bang, because you guys that live in America think Europe has to be submissive all the time to Europeans are actually at the moment start to look at other ways. And England is a good example of that. I remember when this Middle East conflict started, someone came in here and say, you England, nothing, England is not relevant. I'm like, we'll see. Yep. See, right now, the reason why America is struggling to clear that way of Iran for the oil, to go through, is because England refused to help them out. England is the only country in the world, one of the few countries who have the technology. Hang on, I said this long time ago because I work with precision engineers. I work in a different sector in this country. England is the only country that's way ahead when it comes to maritime technology. Okay, and they always have been like that throughout history. You can fight up there everywhere in the world. They got, when it comes to under the water, they can play underwater hockey.
Sorry, quick question. You're saying
let me say this, right? Let me say this.
Wait. I didn't speak. No, bro. I haven't spoken.
Go ahead. No. I was trying to respond to these European lovers.
I'm not gonna take long.
I was trying to respond to these European lovers, man. They think
no European lovers.
Listen,
I'm just saying.
No. You are. Ain't nothing wrong with it.
What do you mean by like the technology specifically? Do you mean like, because from my understanding is that the ones who produce the most ships today are mostly Asian countries, three specifically, China and
South Korea.
Submarine. When it comes to submarines, the underwater. Yeah, no, underwater drones. Underwater drones.
One of the leaders. Can you just?
One of the leaders of one of the leaders, and they used to be the leader in the world, and they still have, a lot of new technology that's coming out.
Some of the best. They're technical people from England. They work
very technical.
Let me say this, right?
Okay.
Let me say this.
And they have at the moment they have what it takes to remove those mines that Iran put under the water. They have the drones that they can send down there.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay.
You understand?
Let me say this, right? Let me say this real quick, right? It's funny how
in the world with the Navy SEALs. They're very good. Number one.
It's funny how hold on. So it's funny how y'all mentioning these Europeans, right? As
the Europeans that set up your country
and stuff like that.
Europeans
hold
founded
on,
America.
my brother. You see, Lewis.
Man,
This
you
is
full
not
of it,
200
Ben.
years
You
ago.
sound like a
This is not
mosquito.
300 years ago, Lewis, man.
Every day.
This is not 400 years ago. Hold on. I'm just saying. Who's in charge of your nation? The boss for a boss. It's the Americans. Okay. Africa, right? You mentioned this war. You mentioned this war in Iran, right? Okay. Your prime minister came out and did all this public speeching, right? You know, this and that, right? At the same time, the Americans used the base. England has a base in
Not far from me.
Cyprus.
Not far from me.
Cyprus,
Not far from me. No.
somewhere.
They are using the base. Well, listen, not far from me. They have base, American base in England.
Use the same base. Hold on. It's in Cyprus, Brazil, something like that. I probably pronounced the country wrong, right? America used that same base. Yes. America used that same base to attack.
Americans are funny,
attack,
bro.
Iran. To attack Iran. So for you guys to come up here and say, "Oh, England, the big dog, England, the big this and that." What technology?
No, I didn't say that.
What item did I still use that said made in England? On my daily life.
Okay.
What technology did I use?
Hey,
what
Ben.
technology is then?
Hey, Ben.
Consumer products are not the same as military
against America then?
Those are not even
What leverage it?
Ben.
No, answer that, man. What leverage it?
Why is your president begging?
Do you know England? Listen, do you know the United Kingdom of Great Britain actually have the Caribbean? Hold on, they have Canada. They have listen. They have Canada. They have Australia. They have New Zealand. They have so many. Even the Chagos Island that Trump envies so much.
Hold
on. Hold on. Let me just finish. Well, I'm not saying we're bigger than America or better than America. Everybody knows that.
England has more power. England has more power.
No. England doesn't have more power. But all I'm saying is, listen. No, but you listen. You know, you're putting word in my mouth, man.
Maybe for real.
You're putting word in my mouth, man.
Ben, what language you speaking?
Yeah. You're putting word in my mouth.
What language you speaking, Ben?
Exactly. And where you asking where he's from?
This man said.
Sometimes you're making.
Don't underestimate. Do you know what the power of the British people? Do you know what the power of the British people is? You always under.
So which means that. If anything, what you call it, the UK government wants, right? You know, they're gonna side with the UK government instead of America.
They will do because of the Canada will always stay with the UK.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding
me? Do you know it's England? They will do.
He's a country. He's a king. He's sovereign.
The Canada don't have a president. They have a prime minister for a reason.
Are you saying? You guys don't know how power works, man. Stop it. Why would America become
enlighten us, man. You
to the UK within their own border? Make it make sense. Within their own border.
America. Bang! Listen, if you know,
Tell me something that UK produce. That UK produce that us Americans that we need constantly.
I'll tell you what it is.
That we still use up to this day.
I'll tell you what you need.
Losers thing.
Where are YouTube? Who controls YouTube? Is it the UK?
No. I'll tell you what you can get from UK. You can get a better leader that's not psychotic. You can definitely
do that. Leader. Right? Oh my God! You don't start working nothing.
No. You don't start working nothing. Listen, you don't start working nothing.
How many prime ministers y'all changed? How many prime ministers y'all changed within the last 2 years? Within the last 2 years, how many prime ministers y'all changed?
They are all smarter.
Boris Johnson was the same one that says, "Oh,
and Joe Biden."
It's not about who's the president. Forget about who's the president. It's who's the big dog.
Listen, you had a dead coach.
President don't have power.
Right?
President don't have power. Corporations have power. Stop it. Stop it. President don't have power. Corporations have power. That's why I said, name your corporation that we need daily.
AI.
That is made in England.
AI.
You can't do that.
AI. England is leading America. England is leading America in AI technology. They're leading. Listen.
One second, my brother. Are you telling me that the UK organization is more powerful when it comes to AI compared to America? That's what you're saying. Are you saying UK is more important in AI?
The Football Association of England. The FA is more
these people, man. These people. UK don't have nothing, man. Just say what it is. UK is a vassal under the United States. That is facts. That is facts.
We understand that. We're not denying that. I never said you. I never said the other way. I never said the other way around. No, but you see the problem when you're arguing, you put stuff in people's mouth. You don't listen to what people saying. You just assume.
Bro, that's what I'm noticing. He comes here, makes an accusation.
You're assuming, brother. You're assuming.
He's angry all the time and accuses things of like.
Yeah, you're assuming, man. If you listen to what I said,
don't try to. Okay, you go ahead and speak. I'll be quiet.
Stop mumbling.
I'm gonna respond.
Okay.
Do not interrupt me.
Okay.
Do not interrupt me.
Bang. You see, one thing the United Kingdom have that America don't have is what they call soft power. Okay, and that's very important. That's why America, every time they go into war, they want to bring the United Kingdom with them, because the reason why they always if they don't bring the UK with them, it won't last for long. They'll be humiliated. The reason why that is because they don't have
Vietnam.
Yeah, they don't have exactly.
We didn't go to Vietnam. That's why they took a lition, because the British soldiers refused to go to Vietnam. The Prime Minister at the time, Howard Wilson, he was a bastard anyway. He said no.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Five Eyes, hang on, hold on, the Five Eyes.
Do you want to bring up that war?
Bang, the Five Eyes is nothing. Bang, wait 1 second, man.
Lewis, do you want to bring up that war? Lewis, do you want to bring up that war? Do you want to bring up that war? Go back during that time, the UK government, the UK economy, how it was. Who said
I said America is more powerful. America is more powerful than us, no doubt.
What are you trying to talk about, Lewis, man? Come on, man. Lewis,
America is more powerful than us, man. I'm not denying that, no doubt.
You see, they more passionate. They more passionate to protect their masters. They more passionate to protect their masters. But at the same time, they come up here and tell you that they are Africans.
Even though
they
are not as powerful.
No, we're just talking about the two different powers. We're not praising them. We're not being on their side. We're just talking about two different powers. That's the only thing.
The British Marines are still the top dogs. Okay, right? They train along with the Navy SEALs, and they've got another one above them. I got friends who used to be in SBS. Okay, they all train together. Okay, and if they decide to pull out of something, America struggles. That's why Trump is upset with the British Prime Minister. He was not going to commit himself into that. That would be out of office.
The one you
There's no reason for this war. This war is for white Jews who run America. And he doesn't want to.
I just have one question. You mentioned an organization. What was it called? The UK special. They're like one of the top. I think they're the
SBS, Special Boat Squadron.
Okay.
You got the SAS and then the SBS.
And the SAS, and you know, bang, you know that better. You know that better because the West Side Boys in Freetown. The West Side Boys in Freetown. Guess who chased them out of Freetown? No. What happened is, when the rebel war was happening in Sierra Leone, in the capital city.
Yeah, they went
the area where the African military struggled to actually deal with. This were the West Side Boys because of the area they were in the mountain hiding behind Freetown. Okay, and they captured one of the SAS guy. Yeah, these West Side Boys rebel, and the SAS went there to free the guy. Yeah. And they went there with the Apache helicopter. Okay, they only went there to capture this guy and free their own soldier, right? And the West Side Boys went there, and man, these guys are crazy, man. They're the best special force. They're the best special force in the world for a reason. And if you watch the operation, you can see why they are. Okay, so they managed to free their soldier, and they continue the battle until they finish the entire West Side Boys squad. Because the West Side Boys, after the rebels were wiped out, but they was the one that was giving a lot of the problem in Freetown because the army couldn't deal with them. Nobody could deal with them. So the SAS went in there and wiped them out. And then Tony Blair said, Tony Blair said to them, well, guys, let me finish, man. Tony Blair said, right, you're not leaving Sierra Leone, stay there. But you know what IMAT is? They build IMAT, they settled, in IMAT, and they helped train the Sierra Leone soldiers. And they trained with the Sierra Leone soldiers. And when they was going to Afghanistan, because Sierra Leone, from Sierra Leone, throughout history, I don't know about now, you can join the British Army from Sierra Leone without coming to the UK. You know, a lot of young people I used to know, that's how they managed to come here. Because they have that special relationship. Right. Yeah, you can join the army and come over here. Yeah, they give you a passport.
But the thing is,
Let me
the
make a point. Let me make my point. Because one of the questions was asked, what does the UK need? What does the US need from the UK that wouldn't make it survive? One thing I know specifically is when it comes to the area of artificial intelligence. Okay, because that's where Google DeepMind, for example, is one of the things.
The UK.
Yeah, the UK, for example, they're the ones who actually made DeepMind. Google DeepMind, you might know.
Yes.
DeepMind was made by the UK. It was founded in London.
Yes.
Google acquired it.
Right.
AlphaGo, AlphaFold, all of those. Okay.
What myself, I really company, brother?
So the reason I'm saying this is because it's not that the UK. Let's say the UK. Okay. Let me just make my point real quick. My point is that the UK, when it comes to technology, is the reason they are overshadowed. I would say it's not because they don't have it. They have some of the best engineers, some of the best. A lot of
that's a lie.
Let me just make my fucking point.
It's true, bang. Oh God,
Okay. Anyway,
let Morales finish. Bang, let Morales finish, please.
They know what they're talking about. They assume we are in a.
What do you use daily that's made in England? You can't even name
God. There are a lot of things that you're using.
People always assume that because they are, they speak louder.
Hey, how about, let me tell you something.
Let me finish my point, because you see,
let me get one thing. The tin can.
But they have a problem. Let me get my point then.
I'm gonna take a break.
Man, let Morales finish, man. It's not fair on him, bro. Let you interrupt him. Let him finish.
I'm gonna take a break.
Okay.
A 20-minute break.
Yeah, take a break, bro. Get a drink as well. Okay. Anyway. No. Let me make my point. Anyways,
England is nothing but a bank.
AI.
That's
the
all
real
England
reason
is.
the UK is really
England
needed
is
by the
nothing
United
but
States.
a bank.
Not necessarily because of the components. It's also because of the talent they have. Okay. It is not saying that, if the UK was stopping helping the United States would collapse. I think this is the problem people take it to the extreme. The United States won't collapse just because the UK is not there. It is more like they will slow down when it comes to a lot of innovations because they require a lot of sharing of knowledge. When it comes to pharmaceutical, all these things are needed.
England is
most
nothing
people
but a
don't know
bank.
anything about this because they're not in the field. When you're
but a bank.
You realize how
England is nothing
fragile
but a
the
bank.
entire supply chain of the world
England is nothing but a bank.
It is a major player, but it
Even
doesn't have a lot
of said it like months ago.
military
England is nothing
influence
but a
in terms
bank.
of global scale, but it does have when it comes to precision. They have a lot of
nothing but a
technology.
bank,
They have, but people don't.
Precision technology, precise technology. Thank you. Precise technology.
It doesn't mean they don't have the technology. They also pull resources from there. Again, they have a program for where they will sponsor you. If you're a good engineer, for example, they will sponsor you and give you a green card easily. Okay, they do that because they require global talent, and they have industries and systems that acquire that global talent and let it succeed. What successful Nigerians who are here in the UK succeed a lot more easily because the entire infrastructure is there. So they get the best Nigerians there, just like in the United States. These two work together. That's why they're one of the global powers. Okay, that's not saying, I'm protecting my masters. That's saying this is how the system works. It's not as simple. Just because I don't use the technology doesn't mean it's not there. There's a lot of technology from the Finnish people which we use in the world that you might not even know of. There's a lot of technologies that most countries use they don't know of. Okay,
that make technology work.
There's this thing. Technology is right now in the world is global supply chains that really matter. Pharmaceutical alone, for example, is an important component. Okay, I'm not gonna act like I know everything about it, but pharmaceutical it requires a global supply chain for countries you probably.
And we all know the World Wide Web was created by the UK. Everybody know that World Wide Web. Yeah.
Yep. So again, the Concorde, for example. Listen. The UK have been stagnant, but that doesn't mean they're failing. Stagnant is not failing.
Morally, when it's finished, I will give you a good example. You just mentioned the Concorde, okay? You just mentioned the Concorde. I go to the Concorde where they make them. Now it's Airbus, okay? I go into the factory at least 3 times a week. Okay, take care, Louis. I go there 3 times a week, okay? The Concorde was built in my city. Yeah, it was the joint venture with the French. Okay, and the Concorde from England to America, it was 2 hours. 2 hours. But guess what? The Americans were so jealous. The Americans were so jealous. They said it's too loud. They banned the flights going into America. And what happened? Now is in my city as a museum. And up to now, nobody managed to create a passenger airplane that could actually fly
I think
short
NASA
distance.
is trying, but they haven't succeeded. They're trying. They're using small scale planes, but not passenger. That's true. Passenger, but no country has done it like that. That is true.
Never.
Go on.
Yeah. So it's funny because I this is the area I work with a lot of these precision technologies companies, and majority of the people are doing it actually are English people. Let's be honest, but they do tend to bring other nationalities in there slowly but surely. But it's one area, is the backbone of the British industry, okay, and the market. These are the two things that keep this country going, and they don't play with it.
And that's the
They
thing. I
don't play
think
with
a
it.
lot of times we're underestimating systems. These are systems that were built for generations. They're not gonna go down just because people are moving away and just because, like, the United States can say they don't need the UK, but they can just decide they don't need them by stopping using their technology and also their people. But they're not gonna do that because they know how reliant they are on a lot of technologies. Like South Korea, for example, is trying to make military technology for the United States because the United States needs it. Just that's again, alliances matter. And again, alliances matter, whether we like to believe it or not. They matter.
Yeah, and also America just asked Ukraine. America just asked Ukraine about this new drone technologies, right?
Yeah.
Ukraine out of all countries. Okay, and the thing is, the reason why Ukraine managed to slow the Russian tanks invasion into Ukraine early stage is because of those things that bring the tanks down. That was invented in the UK. The javelins. The javelins. They just take the tanks like anything, like a piece of trash. You don't listen. I'm not saying England is bad than America when it comes to warfare because of the size and all that. But let's be real. Without the United Kingdom of Great Britain, the Five Eyes doesn't exist in American face because most of the countries in the Five Eyes are Commonwealth countries. These are joint ventures, with the Commonwealth and the United States of America. And according to what I'm noticing from the British people, they're starting to be fed up with America, to be honest, because they feel like they have place so much trust in their bigger brother because that's how they see America as their big brother. They share so much technology.
I guess.
Hey guys, we got to close out. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining. Like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family. Dynasty Mirror, search for Huru. Peace.
Y'all stay safe. Peace.